Good morning, everyone. It's 7 a.m. on Thursday, July the 23rd. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see afternoon storms with a high of 88. Coming up today on Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota, LSU Athletics Executive Chef Michael Johnson joins us at 7:30 a.m. to answer all your Munchies questions, so get them in either the huddle or on the YouTube live chat. LSU's head of equipment, Greg Stringfellow, stops by at 8 a.m. Former big leaguer Chad Durbin joins the show at 8:30 to talk opening day in Major League Baseball. You can follow today's show by joining us inside the 104.5 ESPN Huddle app, brought to you by Bayou Ford, on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Join us in the YouTube live stream on the 104.5 ESPN channel. Make sure to subscribe and also subscribe to the Off the Bench YouTube channel and set your notifications. Hour number 1 of OTB starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
And Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria, always online at 104.5ESPN.com or on your smart speakers.
Look at that, Musso.
YouTube, 104.5 ESPN, opening day for Major League Baseball. Mookie Betts is going to be a Dodger until he's 40.
Look at him. I mean, he's up there with Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds, Ted Williams.
Dealt away for a box of Cracker Jacks in the offseason by the Red Sox.
I hate y'all. I'm glad I'm out tomorrow.
Drafted by the Sox within the farm system, was the MVP 2 years ago, and now he'll be a Dodger until, what, 2040?
Yeah. 13 years, 12-year extension.
Durbin going to talk about it coming up here at 8:30 this morning. Durbin spent 13 years in the show.
Oh, okay, so there you go.
Major League Baseball. Opening day, Derbs will talk about it. Your food questions at 7:30. Chef Michael Johnson from LSU Food, executive chef over there, will stop in.
Yeah, it might be a lot of food talk today. As Myles Brennan on the Hay Fighting podcast with Cody Worsham. Yeah. We'll talk about the weight thing. Cody addressed it at the front of the podcast.
Like I'm thick.
But one thing that shocked me, my man's metabolism is so fast. He said on the pod that when he works out, on days that he's working, his Apple Watch says he burns over 6,000 calories.
To be young, boys.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
What was the diet 2 years ago? Was he was setting his alarm for like midnight, waking up and eating a pint of ice cream, going back to bed, showing up at the building. They were weighing him, and by the time he had left a couple of hours later, he had lost weight.
Yeah, so like, look, the weight thing is way over-talked and way less impactful than people think. But it is stories like that seem fascinating.
Ogeron, Moffitt, anybody talks about him, they always lead with his weight.
I know, which honestly, I don't
219
fully understand. I mean, 6'4", 170, whatever. We'll get into that. But that's what I love, are the crazy stories. The story about him like having like 4 shakes and 4 breakfast sandwiches before his day even started, throwing up in the bathroom, but then being too scared to tell the coaches because you don't have to do it all again. It's been a grind, but our guy's at 220 now, and he's looking good. But it's a 40-minute sit-down with Cody Worsham, and to me, it's kind of like his debutante ball sort of moment. He's being introduced to the public along with a video with Emily Dixon. I recommend go checking them out. Cody and Emily did a great job.
We have a ton of sound from it that will play throughout today's show, including right here in your headlines, and here they are on this Thursday, July 23rd.
Headlines on Off the Bench.
Samuel Bridges is watching on YouTube, 104.5 ESPN station. Samuel dials in, longtime listener, first-time viewer while on vacation. What up, Samuel?
What up, Samuel? Welcome, bro.
Pelicans last night in the NBA. They're scrimmaging in the bubble. Brandon Ingram had 12, and Etuan Moore added 14 off the bench as a Zionless. Pelicans easily took down the new Brooklyn Nets on Wednesday night. The team announced Wednesday that Williamson has been getting tested daily for the coronavirus since he has been away from the team. The Pelicans added that although there is no timetable for his return, Williamson fully intends to rejoin the team. Here is Brandon Ingram after his 12 last night talking about the offense.
Well, that's something we've been practicing on since we came back, and it definitely looked good tonight. It definitely looked like everything that we practice on, driving and kicking, getting to the basket, being aggressive in the lane, and seeing the shooters on the outside. So we definitely took stuff over from practice.
Yeah, NBA power rankings after last night, it's probably like Lakers, Bucks, maybe even Bucks, Lakers, and then perhaps the Clippers, even though not having Pat Beverly hurts. And then I got Zion checking in, or then I got the Pelicans checking in right there. I mean, no Zion, no problem. They looked unbelievable last night. It was a really good start. And as far as the Zion testing news that Jordy alluded to there, it is very relevant that he has been tested daily and is tested negative each day, because if that streak continues when he returns, he's looking at about a 4-day quarantine instead of a 10-day quarantine, which obviously could be the difference in everything, given that we are just 7 days away from the first regular season game.
Miss you, Big Z. Hope all is well. Hurry home.
Yep.
Brandon Ingram was talking about getting back on the floor last night.
Oh, I felt good. It felt really good just to get back out here and feel stable in what I'm doing every single day. Is just me trying to get better at something on the basketball floor. So just coming out and feeling good from the three and getting to my mid-range and getting other guys involved, it feels good.
Brandon Ingram shot it great. Etuan shot it great. Lonzo Ball shot it great, which is probably the one I wanted to see most.
The most impressive? The bench had 60 points.
Yeah. So make no mistake, the Pelicans are – that was one of the crazy master strokes of David Griffin, is they went from having no roster to one of the deepest rosters in the entire NBA. And so their preseason record would reflect that. They're actually 6-0 on the year now in scrimmages. So they've – this is well suited for them. We'll maybe get into a bit more serious talk later, but damn, it felt good to watch them last night. And, yeah, the boys are stroking from three.
Other news last night out of the NBA bubble. How about rookie Bol had 16 points, 10 boards, 6 blocks for Denver in an 89-82 win over Washington. The Clippers beat the Magic 99-90, and the Miami Heat beat the Sacramento Kings 104-98. You'll get your first look at Giannis and LeBron tonight, as both the Bucks are scheduled to play this afternoon. San Antonio will play the Milwaukee Bucks at 3 o'clock. Or 2 o'clock this afternoon, and then at 6 o'clock this afternoon on NBA television, which I was in the blackout area last night, and I was pissed. I mean, are you serious that we're still blacking out television games in 2020 in the age of the internet?
Well, it's
even
even
from the
gone
NBA, such a progressive league.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't find it anywhere. The Yes Network, NBA television, but tonight on NBA TV, 6 o'clock here Central Time, the Dallas Mavericks will play Los Angeles, the Lakers. So you'll see LeBron and AD tonight.
Yeah, it was. It's some archaic. I was asking Doug Tatum of the Pelicans about it, and it's some archaic NBA rule. But I guess it's what's interesting is it's not that archaic, because it uses your location services to determine whether or not you're within 75 miles of the Smoothie King Center. Luckily, ever since the move to the burbs, I'm 71 miles now, so I made it just underneath. But, I saw Shea Dixon. He tweeted out a screenshot. He was 77. Couldn't watch.
Well, I live in between y'all, so I must be 75 and a half.
Yeah, dude, you barely missed out. But look, that's outside of the Pelicans' control. Let's be clear about that. The production values last night were excellent. Todd Graffinini and John DeShazer killed it on the call. How about DeShazer was one of the best lines ever after a beautiful little floater. So that's smoother than Billy D. Williams on a Colt 45 commercial.
Jackson Hayes last night, 21 minutes. His plus-minus was 19, plus 19 while he was on the floor last night.
That's good.
As Jackson Hayes, man. Wow, look out. Opening day in Major League Baseball, Washington and New York tonight. This will be a great day for you, Musso, as the Yankees will roll out their $324 million offseason pickup, and Garrett Cole, as he'll be the starter, versus Max Scherzer and the defending champs in the Washington Nationals. Then the late cap tonight on ESPN will be San Francisco at the Los Angeles Dodgers, who will be celebrating star outfielder Mookie Betts and the Dodgers agreeing on a 12-year, $365 million extension that keeps the former AL MVP in Hollywood for 12 years. It could go up to 13 seasons.
Yeah, 13 because it's an extension.
And
so he'll be 40.
It'll reach $360 million. It'll be $392 million, which will top the extension signed by Mike Trout. It includes a $65 million signing bonus. Good day for Mookie Betts on Wednesday. The Dodgers announced the extension on Wednesday. You going to be peeking off to the television tonight at the rehearsal dinner?
No, probably not. I might get killed.
He said his sister would kill him. You got to do like you got to come up with like a classic shenanigan, like sunglasses where you can like look down, or maybe you can like half close your eyes and paint eyes on your eyelids, and then you could look down. And you're like, I don't know. We'll workshop it.
Their original wedding date was June 12th. It was the Friday before the College World Series started. The day before. They're smart. They know what they're doing.
2033. Betts will be in Hollywood.
He'll be 40. He's 27. That's the craziest part about this extension to me. I wonder, like, I don't think you can play late in baseball, but can he keep that money? Like, can he justify that money all the way to age 40? That's a hell of a bet.
LSU football, as we alluded coming into headlines, Myles Brennan, potential starting quarterback for the Tigers, was sitting down on the Hay Fighting podcast with Cody Worsham earlier this week. It made it to air, and Brennan was talking about everything, including where he is from a mentality standpoint, just heading into his junior season.
I've been using this time that I've been waiting and just trying to, prepare myself for my time. And I feel like a lot of the obstacles that have been thrown my way, I've used to just get better and to persevere. And, I feel like I'm going to come out stronger, and I have come out stronger than when I came in here. And, with COVID, it's just another obstacle in the way, and I feel like as a team and personally, I feel like we're going to get through it, and then we're all going to be stronger on the backside. And I feel like this is just preparing us for another great season.
Everybody talks about Myles Brennan's weight. He's around 220 right now. Emily Dixon got a good story from Brennan yesterday in a sit-down interview that made it to air at LSUsports.net.
Yeah, I was at home pretty much the whole quarantine. My parents set up like it looked like an obstacle course, but it was really just we have a bunch of trees on our property, and so they had like targets like spray painted onto the trees. They had gone and bought like these nets, like cones set up, trash cans to throw the balls into, and I just was walking around the property with a chainsaw one day and was just like cutting down trees and like cut down this tree and just use that as like I could lift it and bench it and put it on my back and squat it. So I just tried making the best of what I had.
Shout out Emily Dixon for the interview. I love it. Rocky IV style. There's no other comparisons that you can call to mind when you see that man cutting down his own squat bar, essentially. Except instead of doing it in Siberia in the heat, he's doing it in that sweltering, or in the cold. He's doing that sweltering southern heat.
Rocky was in the Rockies. It was Colorado.
He wasn't in. He didn't train in Siberia. Duh. Well, I blew all that pun. I blew the delivery. I blew the actual content itself.
Who cares? T Sports is back.
Yeah, it's true.
Basketball last night, baseball today. We'll talk football coming up on Off the Bench. More sound from Brennan coming up. Brennan talking everything, including that weight gain that we talked about. How about following up the greatest player in LSU football history in Joe Burrow? Brennan has got a 40-second soundbite that we'll give you coming up inside of your first segment, including another one talking about his relationship with Steve Ensminger going into another season with the Slinger calling the plays for LSU. Myles Brennan sound coming up. What you got, Moose?
Well, there's a couple storms out there brewing right now, so you might need a generator. So go to 1045ESPN.com. Now throughout August 16th, take a quiz to see how prepared you are for hurricane season. If you take that quiz, you're immediately entered into a drawing for a brand new EU 1000 generator from Bozeman Distributors. Get prepared for hurricane season from 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge, and stay prepared with Bozeman Distributors.
Those are your headlines here on Off the Bench. Chef Michael Johnson coming up 15 minutes from now from LSU Food. We'll also talk to Greg Stringfellow, Associate Athletics Director from the Equipment Department. 8 a.m. this morning. Guys getting back in the building over the next couple of days. What's the urgency in keeping everything clean? How about the efficiency of the best facility in college football almost a year in? We'll ask Stringfellow how efficient the building has been over the last 365 days. Also about designing the rings that the champs picked up last week. Stringfellow coming up at 8 o'clock. Chad Durbin breaking down opening day in Major League Baseball at 8:30 this morning. We are jam-packed. Right along with us, All-Star Toyota driving us for the next 3 hours here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Brought to you daily by the Lanoix, LANOIX agency.com. Musso was telling you about some of the weather heading down here right now, and including hurricane season on the horizon. If you need a quote on flood insurance, get in touch with Randy Bryan and David Lanois this morning at 749-5640 or online at LANOIXagency.com. They're all standing by. In fact, look, this is personal testimonies from me and T-Bob every single morning. They handle our home and auto insurance, which is bundled up for nice savings each month. It's a good starting point for maybe some savings here right now if you want to give them a call for a free quote this morning. 749-5640. All the info's online at LANOIXagency.com.
Yeah. I got that new car yesterday.
Ooh, T, look good.
Getting that insurance going was as easy as just calling up BG, and he said, give me your VIN number, don't forget. I'm just realizing now I forgot, but I'm going to get him that VIN number, and he's going to set it up. I'm not going to do anything. Go to LANOIXagency.com today.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier, so join us for Thursday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Anonymous user inside the huddle. Is there a hashtag Ask Stringfellow? There is. Hashtag Ask G-String. You want to get your questions in for Greg Stringfellow, who's the Associate Athletics Director from the Equipment Department, stopping by here 8 a.m. Tons to get to with G-String an hour from now, or a little less than an hour from now. 10 minutes coming up here.
Okay.
Chef Michael Johnson, what you got?
Let's address the
Good
Rocky in the
questions
room.
coming in on Munchies.
Yep.
Hashtag Munchies, both inside of the huddle, and if you're watching on the YouTube station at 104.5 ESPN, remember everything that happens here on Off the Bench will be highlighted on the OTB station. So make sure and subscribe, get notified for everything that's going on with our ESPN Baton Rouge properties. All right, you want to put to rest this debate?
Yeah, I'm just sharing the stream right here. So it turns out that in the movie, Rocky was training in Siberia.
So what T-Bob is explaining is that the Hollywood script placed the movie in Siberia.
Yes, but the actual filming in real life was done in Jackson Hole, which is in the Rockies.
Which is
so
clearly the comment that I made.
Okay, well, I do we want to argue it, or do we want to both take a win here?
I don't want to argue it on radio because it'll turn into bad radio pretty quick.
Okay.
I'll take the win. You can take the win as well.
Okay, that's fine. We were both right.
But he trained in the Rockies.
In real life. Sylvester Stallone did. Rocky trained in Siberia. But, okay, let's get into this Myles
Brennan was training on his own property.
In Mississippi.
And he was on Hey Fightin' Podcast with Cody Worsham, where he sat down and he talked about a ton of stuff, including a long soundbite here that runs over 60 seconds on him talking about his weight, hovering around 220 pounds and maintaining that weight.
Currently, I weigh 220, which is where I want to be, and I feel very confident at my weight now. I came in I was probably 175 when I got here freshman year. And
you're what, 6'5"? 6'4"?
Like 6'4",
okay.
Yeah. And so I literally looked just like a green bean, and that's what everybody would call me. And the SEC came out and called me the Slim Reaper, it's just like, it was very difficult from then to now. My body, I guess, is just not made to have a wide frame, you know, and I ate more food than anybody can imagine. And the strength staff was on me every single day since I got here. And I was in here at 6 o'clock, eating in front of the strength coaches, drinking, protein shakes in front of them at 6 o'clock. And I have a very high metabolism. So, I wore one of the Apple Watches one day, and with workouts and practice and everything in between, I'm burning around 6,000 calories, 7,000 calories a day.
That's crazy.
Which is insane. So if I'm eating 5,000 calories, I'm in the negatives.
Yep.
So I'm having to literally go beyond measures to just get some sort of nutrients in my body to use. But hopefully I've kept where I'm at. I've been around the 218 to 221 range since quarantine. So that makes me feel good that I can that's been at least 3.5 months that I've actually been able to keep the weight on.
I got one for you, and I want you to think about this before you answer it, because I got more sound to play on Brennan. So I'm going to come back to you on Brennan's weight, but I want one from you here.
Yeah.
If you are allowed to make Brennan's menu, Fat Boy T-Bob is
for
allowed
6,000
to
calories?
make Myles Brennan's menu for 6,000 plus calories per day.
Am I worried
he's got to hold?
Am I worried about making it nutritional?
Fat Boy T-Bob.
Okay.
Fat Boy T-Bob. And I'll open this up to the listeners. Jump inside YouTube. Jump inside the huddle. If you're creating the menu for a 6,000 calorie plus per day intake, what's it consist of? Here's a funny story from Brennan talking about his food.
Funny, there was one time where I came in and I ate it was 4 breakfast sandwiches and drank 4 core powers. And I'm trying to get to class. And
dude, that's 2,500 calories right there.
I'm man, I don't feel good. So I ran to the bathroom. I threw it all up. So I didn't tell anybody because I would have had to restart.
Yeah, so it seems like it was a brutal road up to this point. Now, I do agree with how Cody Worsham starts this podcast, where he basically says asking people about their weight like this is pretty awkward. And living through it is probably pretty weird, as everybody's constantly asking you how much you weigh. I think we can finally put that thing to rest. He is 220. Anything above 210 is golden. He will remain there. I don't think this is something we need to talk about. And look, I get that interestingly, it's what Coach O and all these other people constantly brought up when it comes to Brennan, and it will absolutely help him, like durability and other facets of the game. But when it comes to playing quarterback, weight is on the bottom of the totem pole in terms of things that actually matter. All that matters if you want to be a successful quarterback are accuracy and decision-making. If you have a plus arm like Brennan does, that's a huge advantage. But still, it's ultimately not going to come down to weight or anything else. It's just going to be, do you know where to go with the ball? and can you put it in those tight windows?
Can I ask you the question inside the huddle?
Yes.
On live radio.
I've
look
not,
at it.
I've not
look
seen
at
it.
it and ask
Some
you,
about-
and let me ask you if I can after this one. Why did Brennan stay at LSU?
I came here for a reason, and I stay true to my word, and I understand why people do transfer, and I mean I'm not against it any means, because these players have to do what's best for them and their families. But I knew being here would be best for me, especially with this coaching staff and the surrounding staff that's here at LSU. And I mean, we brought in Joe, and if I would have left, I would have lost these 2 years of learning behind one of the greatest football, quarterback in college football. And the things that I just took away from him alone have made me such a better player, much less, just being around this team and playing the games that we've played in has just helped me a lot.
T-Bob danced back and forth on whether or not I should ask him the question inside a huddle. He landed on no. So if you want to know, get inside the huddle and he'll answer it there. On following Burrow, this is a big one. This is a legend. A lot of people are wondering how he thinks on following the greatest player in LSU football history. Here's what Myles Brennan thinks about it.
When I get asked those questions, I try and tell myself, like he's gone, and he's no longer here, and he's no longer going to be playing for LSU, and, it's time for, me to step into that role. And, I can talk about what he did, but talking about, last year's team and what we did last year is not going to, and talking about Joe is not going to help us in the future.
Yeah.
It's not going to do any good for us reflecting on what we did last year. But yeah, I mean, it is time to, Joe's going to get all the credit that he deserves, in interviews and things like that. But at the same time, it's my time, and I fully understand that. And, I'm going to do, everything in my power to make, take full advantage of that.
Let's go. That's a good answer.
It's a great answer. And it seems like someone who has their head screwed on pretty well for knowing what's going to be coming his way, because he's absolutely right. He's going to have to deal with Joe Burrow questions constantly, which is a bit frustrating when, as a player, you're trying to live in the moment. Your focus is firmly on what happens next in the future. And like he said, Joe's going to have no impact on the future, but that's just the nature of the beast. He gets it. He answered it well.
I kind of think it's going to be a weight thing, especially from a local standpoint.
Yeah.
From a national standpoint, he'll have to deal with it throughout the regular season. But I think locally, it'll be like a weight issue where, like you just said, it's been talked about. You understand it. He weighs 220. He's going to hover around that all season long.
That's fair.
You can't really ask him about it. I mean, at some point, he's going to answer the Burrow questions just by his play. And then one time you're going to get into a post-game comment, you're going to ask him something, and he's going to give you the same answer that he gave you 2 weeks before, and you're going to say, you know what? This is a dead issue.
Yeah.
Right? All right, here he is talking about his development.
Real quick, because now it feels weird, the whole, I want to tell you something I can't tell you. No, he doesn't date my sister. He's dating one of my cousins.
Okay, so you
there
dance
go.
back to the yes.
Yeah,
All right,
dance
there you
back to
go. I
yes.
could have asked you that. That would have been easy.
Just,
2 minutes ago.
I know. I apologize.
All right, here he is talking about his development.
I feel like personally, just in terms of being on the field, from freshman year to sophomore year to this past year, just being more comfortable, and just being confident and just telling myself this is just a game.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of I've been doing this my whole life. It's the same game I've been playing when I was 6, 7 years old. You know, but this past year I felt like I was just a lot more comfortable in the pocket. I don't feel like I was as antsy. And I learned. I mean, that was. I really feel like that was just with maturity and just understanding the game and just feeling comfortable being back there.
One more from Burrow. Here he is talking about his relationship with the offensive coordinator. One more from my bad.
And there it goes.
Damn.
I mean, that's,
Damn.
just how it goes. That's what he's going to have to deal with right there.
One more. One more from Brennan. Here he is talking about his relationship with the play caller, the slinger, Steve Ensminger. Sorry, Myles.
No, I mean, he's been really important. I mean, since I've been here, he's kind of been like my foundation. He's been like my starting point. I mean, when I came in, he was coaching tight ends, and then that next year, he took over the quarterback room, and then from there on, he's been in there. And just to have a guy like him and a coach with all of his knowledge, and then he's the thing I like about him the most is, I mean, he's played the position and he's played it here. So he knows what he's talking about. He's not just a quarterback coach. I mean, he's actually played the position. But yeah, he's definitely been I like to say just like the rock in my foundation since I've been here.
Last one, Burrow made his name last year in the offseason by putting together the offseason workouts with no coaches around. Myles Brennan has carried on that tradition. Here he is talking about those Saturday workouts.
Really not much has changed because, I prepared every single week, as if I was going to be the starter. And just in case anything were to happen, I was going to have to go in that, the rest of the game, the rest of the season and play like I was the starter. So I really prepared, as the best I could every single week. Now it's really just, getting the timing down with the receivers and, just having that terminology to where we can communicate different things and getting, dips right and just actually being the guy that's doing the action and not just standing behind and listening, So I feel like that's just been the most important thing as we are working in the offseason.
That is great sound from Myles Brennan that we let you hear in the first segment. There's much more to that in that sit-down with Cody Worsham with LSU's future starting quarterback, Myles Brennan. If you want to hear that in its entirety, you can catch that at lsusports.net. That's Hey Fightin' Podcast with Brennan and Worsham. I agree. That was very refreshing to hear that state of mind from Brennan on where he is heading into his redshirt junior season. All right, Chef Michael Johnson is a Thursday regular here on Off the Bench, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Your food questions next.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Brought to you by Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Remember, in the month of July, you're running out of days here to get the OTB savings over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. If you need collision repair, all you got to do is mention Off the Bench. Donaldsonville Glass and Body will take $250 off that deductible for you straight off the top. They got the 24-hour towing with Nick Frederick. They can handle the towing back to the shop from the accident site, the office, the home, wherever you're at. Online, dgbauto.com.
dgbauto.com. Go to donaldsonvilleglassandbody.com or check them out on Facebook at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. And remember, they are your one-stop car shop. The collision repair, though, is the best. The insurance companies can't tell you where to go. You tell them you want to go to DG&B. And at Donaldsonville Glass and Body, because the customer comes first, they'll pick up your vehicle in that tow truck, fix it, and then drop it back off to your driveway. Convenience of the highest order. Go to donaldsonvilleglassandbody.com today. That's Donaldsonville Glass and Body.
Sports will be back.
But for now, we're all rooting for a different kind of hero.
Let's embody the best parts of sports.
Teamwork,
sacrifice,
resilience.
One goal, together.
0% for 72 months on all new 2020 F-150s. Visit Bayou Ford for a new 2020 Ford F-150 with 0% for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family.
Tune in to a Thursday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz. We are live at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar from 6 to 8 p.m. Come say hello and eat some oysters or listen here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Ba-da-ba-da, cheesecake, munching on a cheesecake, munching on a cheesecake. Cheesecake. A cheesecake, gobble, gobble, cheesecake, gobble, gobble, cheesecake. Cheesecake. A cheesecake, gobble, gobble, cheesecake, gobble, gobble, cheesecake. Cheesecake.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Every week here on Off the Bench, we link up with the executive chef over at LSU, Michael Johnson, as he is with us answering your food questions every week here on Off the Bench. Good morning, Chef. How are you?
Morning, guys. I'm well.
A lot of topic of conversation around the sports world as it looks like it's trending back in the right direction of getting back on the field. Baseball tonight, basketball going through some scrimmages in the NBA, and football getting back out on the field in the next couple of weeks is Myles Brennan, LSU starting quarterback, and the storyline around him is him maintaining this 220-pound weight. Can you speak to his diet and what that has played into it?
Myles has been eating really well. Unfortunately, at the nutrition center, we have not been able to open it up fully to give all the options. So we're just focused on making available clean proteins, lots of starch and veg and fresh vegetables, and they come and they grab and go. And the dietitians are monitoring the things on their end at a different facility. But I can tell you this: is he's filled out from last year to this year, and he looks good and healthy. He's got a good positive attitude, and I'm looking forward to it.
Chef, can you take us behind the scenes of conversations you have with a coaching staff? I mean, does a coach go to you and say, "Look, I want him around this weight. Make sure we keep him there"?
Those conversations usually happen with the dietitians, and the dietitians know what the weights are. I think like Tommy Moffitt and Zach Bennett, the football dietitian, they have those conversations, and then they come to me and say, how do we get this done? Or here's the protein. We need high proteins here, and we just make them available for them.
Hashtag Munchies. What type of salad dressing does Chef make at home?
I like balsamic dressings, to be honest with you, and sometimes infusing them with raspberries or fruits or blueberries or something like that. I lean towards the balsamic.
Hashtag Munchies. Chef, bone-in or boneless wings?
Bone-in. Yeah. The boneless wings are for the kids, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, duh. It's like science.
I love it. Yeah.
Hashtag Munchies. What is your favorite finger-licking good meal?
Finger-licking good. Goodness, I mean, if I'm spoiling myself, I like pork belly, but also I like fried chicken. So if we're talking about finger licking good and getting dirty, it's probably going to be like a fried chicken. But yeah.
Hashtag Munchies. Is it okay to eat cake and ice cream every night before bed?
Oh God, I guess that depends on what kind of weight you're trying to establish.
Yeah.
I would say no.
If you're Myles, maybe. Hashtag Munchies. We may have answered something along these lines before, but new listener wants to know, what are your thoughts on pellet smokers, and what type of wood do you prefer for pork?
Pork, pellet smokers have their place, especially at the house. They're very convenient. You have to keep the pellet smoker super clean, because if they get buildup, they can actually catch fire. I've had that happen to me before.
Oh.
But for pork, I lean towards fruit trees like cherry or peach or apple, and I also like to mix my pellets if it's going into a pork, like a hickory or something like that, in with a fruit tree, and it kind of, I don't know, it builds a complex smoke that's really interesting.
Hashtag Munchies. What is Chef's favorite Mediterranean or Greek dish?
I haven't met a Mediterranean dish that I didn't like. My mom's Greek Italian, and so we grew up with that, and so I don't know. I like stuffed grape leaves and simple things that just when your mom makes them for you, and it just kind of hits close to home.
Stuffed what leaves?
Grape leaves.
Oh, grape leaves. Okay, right on.
Yeah.
Never had it.
Hashtag Munchies. Any recipe ideas to open up Jordy's sinuses?
Horseradish.
Yes.
What about, does wasabi do the same thing?
Wasabi, yeah.
Ate some pho yesterday.
Okay, look
That
at
did
it.
it.
Oh, I love it, dude. Yeah, that could get a little bit for sure. Hashtag munchies. Why does cabbage create so much gas?
True.
I don't know the science behind it, but it certainly does. I'm not going to argue with it.
Hashtag munchies. What is the best deodorant for a chef?
God, that's kind of an odd question. The kind that lasts a long time and works all day long, yeah.
Hashtag munchies. Look, I'm just reading the list. Was JFK killed by a lone Lee Harvey Oswald?
Again, I'm not really sure. I read the papers just like everybody else does.
Hashtag munchies. This from Ryan Lee inside of our YouTube Watch app. Chef, hashtag ask munchies. Brennan, ask him about Brennan putting on 40 pounds, eating breakfast sandwiches and protein shakes. Props to the chef. Question, what was in the breakfast sandwiches?
We have an assortment of breakfast sandwiches that we supply every day, and it's everything from like a egg burrito to egg bowls and stuff. So we supply a variety of things. That's the beauty of it, is that it's not the same thing every day, right? So it's always going to be a variety.
Sausage, egg, and cheese, or bacon,
Absolutely.
egg, and cheese biscuit? Which one?
I'm a pork guy, so either one is going to work. But I kind of prefer bacon.
Wow.
I won't tip to a piece of sausage.
Bacon to me sometimes, I want it more as a topping. I don't know if I want it as my main meat unless it's like very thick cut. That's fine though.
I think it depends on the type of bacon. Like I
That's
like
fair.
thick cut bacon, about a quarter-inch thick.
Oh.
Not that cheap lean stuff.
Ooh, bro, quarter inch. Okay, now you're talking my language. That can be the main meat on my sandwich.
Chef, this one comes from a veteran inside of the YouTube app. Ultra Raider dials in, hashtag munchies chef. Have you ever considered giving athletes military MREs who need to gain weight? In Iraq, I gained 40 pounds of muscle on them.
I haven't. I've eaten MREs before, but they're a bit like eating cardboard sometimes. Not for me.
It might not be the best look if the 5-star executive chef delivers the MRE there. Okay, chef. So I went fishing in the Gulf this last weekend. Very well. Came home with some red snapper, some cobia, some mangrove snapper. So let's start with the cobia. What's your favorite way to prepare some cobia?
I like grilled cobia. I like open it over an open fire. And it's one of my favorite fish. I like, and you guys know this by now, that I'm kind of a purist. I just like to taste the fish itself and sprinkle a little kosher salt and black pepper, maybe some brown butter on top of it.
Okay.
Lemon juice or capers or something that has a little tart acidity to it that opens up the flavor. But when I eat fish, I like to taste the fish.
So this may sound dumb. Is brown butter that has been browned? Like, do you brown it in the pan and then put it on there? Okay.
Yep. You take it. You cook the butter until it turns brown. It produces this kind of nutty smell, almost like almonds or something like that, and it enriches the flavor of the butter. Yeah.
Best red snapper recipe. How are you making it?
We fried some snapper at the camp this past weekend. I was actually fishing myself, and we put it in some breadcrumbs and pan fried it, and it turned out fantastic. I've never fried snapper before, but it turned out really well.
Good, because I'm trying that beer batter this weekend. And then finally, mangrove snapper.
It's
Same thing?
tomato there. Yeah,
Okay.
Same thing, yeah.
Chef Michael Johnson, every week here on Off the Bench. We appreciate it as always. Have a good week.
Yep. Take care, guys.
Yes, sir. There he is. Chef Johnson
You the man.
checking in from LSU Food this morning. We will go back to the LSU facility in 15 minutes and check in with Greg Stringfellow here on Off the Bench. If you have a question for Stringfellow, jump inside the huddle. If you're on the YouTube app, remember he is the Associate Athletics Director from the Equipment Department. They'll be distributing gear here in the next couple of days to the athletes getting back on campus. We'll also talk to him about the efficiency of that facility that has been up and running over the last year. Just how efficient is it? And Greg was very much a part of the design process for the championship ring. So we'll talk to him about doing that. I imagine that was a pretty cool part of the job. So if you have a question for Stringfellow, jump inside the huddle, the YouTube app with the hashtag AskGString. That's AskGString. All right, we will close out hour one next.
Off the bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by All-Star Toyota and T-Bob. You got the floor. 60 seconds. You looked great. Pulling out of the corner of Goodwood and Airline and the murdered out Mini. Tell them about it.
Yeah, it was a great process. I wasn't expecting the black wheels, which made me very happy.
They look so good.
They look so good. I knew
Especially when you slowed them down.
I knew I was gonna have the black exterior and interior. That was the goal. And then to go the extra mile and truly make it the murdered out Mini, I think speaks to the customer service over there at All-Star. Shout out to all my guys, Kevin, Lee, Richard, Aaron, everybody who hooked it up yesterday, making that process of buying the vehicle as smooth and simple as possible. Was able to trade in my old vehicle right there, knock off some of the price, and now your boy's rolling around in a blacked out Mini, taking it to Monroe this weekend. Room for the dog, for the kids. Right. It truly is a pontoon boat of the roads.
Pulling up.
All-Star Toyota.
Off the bench, hanging with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube page. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat. Find highlights for each show's channel and get notified whenever we go live.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
In and eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business for...
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier, so join us for Thursday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, good stuff from the chef, Michael Johnson, in his regular Thursday segment. We got Greg Stringfellow coming up here in a couple of minutes, as String will be here at 8 a.m. Opening day for Major League Baseball.
Hell yeah, man.
8:30 this morning, Chad Durbin will talk to us about what's happening today, as a couple of the games tonight. Yankees playing who, Moose?
Nationals.
Yankees and Nationals.
DJ LeMahieu.
Dodgers in San Francisco.
I mean, I've seen some stuff in the huddle about rain. I don't know. I haven't looked it up, to be honest. But if all goes according to plan, DJ LeMahieu will take the first pitch of the 2020 season.
He might swing at it.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, you said he's going to take it. He might swing at it.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't even realize what I was saying there. Nice job, Moose. We'll get into some baseball talk. I'm going to give Musso a lot of rope in hour number 3 to get us hyped on some baseball. But before we do that, let's go ahead and address some Twitter drama that went down yesterday.
Yeah, man.
A lot of people were asking about in the huddle. Ryan Clark. A lot of people were asking me about it just going around yesterday. I tweeted, so I took exception to the argument on Get Up yesterday that Aaron Rodgers is better than Drew Brees, which has been fantastic for my mentions anyway, because the wars that are going on right now over Rodgers and Brees are really awesome to watch. But so then Ryan Clark, I ended up tagging Ryan in it, but then he tweeted about how like he doesn't rock with me, and that's why I didn't tag him, and I know what it is. And I don't know. I have no problem with Ryan Clark. I don't think he has a problem anymore with me. I barely met Ryan. I met him like last year in the studio. I remember him coming by. It was awesome when I was in college working out, and he was still playing for the Steelers, and he'd come into the weight room. That was always awesome, like Super Bowl champ rolling up. But basically, I think it all goes back to a misunderstanding years ago where, and I'm just going from my memory here, so I could be wrong, but back whenever like Jamel Hill got suspended from ESPN, that was around the Kaepernick kneeling drama and all that back in like 2016, somebody had tweeted me and asked me if I thought whatever show they were on, maybe it was NFL Live or something, they asked me, do you think that they'll address the Jamel Hill thing? And I had said, no, I don't think they will. And it was just like because for like, I was thinking about it from like a PR standpoint, like it had just broken. It didn't make a lot of sense for ESPN to address it in that public forum. And so, no, I don't think they will. I think that if I had to guess, it's just me guessing. I think that he maybe took that like me criticizing that they weren't talking about it, or saying that they were too scared to talk about it, or something along those lines. That is not at all how I meant it. I meant it like just from a pure PR standpoint. I mean, if y'all listen to me, I think you know that I support Jamel Hill and I support a lot of. So I don't know. I think it was a misunderstanding, and basically I think that's what it goes back to. So I mean, as far as publicly wanting to clear the air, I have no issue with RC. I love all the national guys from LSU. I mean, this is the job that I do, and they do it at the highest level, whether it's him and Swagoo killing on Get Up. I mean, Booger on Monday Night Football last year, he's all over the place, Get Up, and everything else. So regardless, I got nothing but love for my LSU guys. And look, everybody who's like, get involved in online, everything. It really is nice to see everybody come out and be like, hey, what's wrong? Like, you like support me and stuff, but there's no need to like insult anybody else or anything. Positive vibes only. Don't want any more negativity to come out of this. There's no reason any negativity should. So we're all good. But Drew Brees is better than Aaron Rodgers going into 2020. Let's be clear about that. You want to talk more about career? Who's had the better career? Okay, I'm willing to entertain that argument that it's harder to say, but I'm sorry. If you just look at the last 3 years, there is no world in which you can convince me that Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Drew Brees going into 2020. And yes, you have valid people that argue that have valid points in terms of the support that Aaron Rodgers has gotten versus Drew Brees, especially in these last 3 years. But that doesn't explain the large disparity in the numbers. It can explain a portion of the disparity, but it does not explain the large disparity. And plus, if you look at organizational, just function, right? And Drew Brees gets along with everybody in that organization. It's part of the McCarthy drama and all the fallout and everything. There's a lot of stories that Aaron Rodgers can be hard to work with. You don't see that out of Brees. That plays into the evaluation as well. So, yeah, Drew Brees is clearly, statistically, objectively, the better quarterback going into 2020. But I got no personal issues at all with RC or anybody else.
All right, hour 2 coming at you. We will lead you off with Greg Stringfellow. Stringfellow is going to stop by here at 8 a.m. as we told you. Stringfellow will answer some questions that you have inside the huddle with the hashtag AskGString. But we want to talk to him about players getting back into the facility, what's going to be the protocol on distributing equipment, gear, with all of the quarantine happening around college football in the facility. Your questions and Greg Stringfellow leading off hour 2 next here on Off the Bench, driven and powered by All-Star Toyota.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Secure Shredding and Recycling is a premier provider of document destruction services for individuals, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and government agencies that you can learn about online at SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com. They service our entire listening area, whether it's Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, or New Orleans. You can find them online, SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com. They do destruct hard drives. They can protect your digital information with a hard drive destruction service. If you mention Off the Bench, they'll demolish those first 2 for free online. SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com.
SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com. SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com. Go there today for all your document destruction needs. They are there to serve you. They are local. You want to keep that business local. They're going to give you better rate and better service, better treatment than those national companies will. And the convenience is awesome. They can bring the truck to the site. You have drop-off points in Baton Rouge and New Orleans. They're the best. SecureShreddingRecycling.com.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
In an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
At All Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge.
This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Thursday, July the 23rd. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see afternoon storms with a high of 88. In case you missed hour one of the show, you can catch that now up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Brought to you by Carriages. Still to come, LSU football's head of equipment, Greg Stringfellow, joins us next. Former big leaguer Chad Durbin joins the show at 8:30. Remember, you can follow today's show by joining us inside the 1045 ESPN Huddle app, brought to you by Bayou Ford, on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Subscribing to the Off the Bench YouTube channel, set your notifications, and get into the live YouTube stream right now on the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. Hour number 2 of OTB starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Off and at it off the bench. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. Online at 1045ESPN.com. On your smart speakers, we're on YouTube. We're on the 104.5 ESPN station if you want to find us there. Anything that pops up on Off the Bench, like Greg Stringfellow coming up here, Assistant AD Athletics Equipment Department, is going to stop by here in a couple of minutes. He'll be on the YouTube station today. Chad Durbin talking about the opening day of Major League Baseball. 7:30 this morning, we talked to Chef Michael Johnson, answering your food questions. Remember, every day that Off the Bench is presented by All-Star Toyota. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, and all of our sound is brought back by Carriages. So stop in and see Carriages. Will Aguirre and the crew over there on Jefferson Highway in Old Hammond, where they've been since 1982. Online, carriagesbr.com. They got great social media there. Make sure and hit them on Instagram and follow them on Facebook. Speaking about being around for a long time, our guy, Greg Stringfellow, been around, I believe, long. I'm not even gonna try here
I'm gonna say 22 years.
String, good morning. How are you?
What's up, guys? How are you guys doing?
How many years?
I've lost count too, but it's 25 almost.
Oof.
I think it may be more than that, counting the years that I was in school.
So close.
Assistant AD from the equipment department. All right, so you've been there a long time. You've seen the national championship flurry since 03, 07, the game in 11, then 19. Real quick for me before we get into what's happening over the next couple of days in this season. Recap 19 for me.
It was a great season. It's one of the greatest I've ever been a part of. The team really was together, had a lot of fun playing together. It was kind of surreal at a lot of times just because things were happening that you'd never seen happen before. Even being through a couple of the other national championship seasons, this one just felt different all the way through just because it was so dominating.
Speaking of seeing things you've never seen before, that unprecedented good season rolled into an unprecedented off season as you had the pandemic breakout, everything gets shut down. On the equipment front, I know you have a lot of moving pieces going on throughout the year. How have you all been affected by everything that's gone on over the past few months?
You know, there's a lot of, like you're saying, it's weird. It's way different having the in-spring ball right when we were getting started on it was different. And you know, sending everybody home. But we worked throughout the pandemic here in the equipment room, doing all the receiving, making sure the packages are still coming in, making sure the buildings were still operational for the most part. So we were here throughout the whole process. Not the full staff, but as much as we could work, we were working through it to make sure things stayed on schedule and stayed coming in. But it really has been different. And you know, coming back in June when the players could actually get back in here and having our guys, some of our student staff here and all the other departments kind of coming back in, was great to see and great to have happen. And we were trying to, and we've been doing a great job, I think, of meeting all the protocols, making things happen in this building. We feel that this facility is one of a kind. We have a lot of things going on in this building that provide for the athletes and make it more safe than just a random gym or a random facility, by the way that it was designed originally. And those things all led to us being able to come in here and kind of get going in the facility all together, where we didn't have to make accommodations outside the building for certain things. And it's really helped us. And, we can see internally how healthy our team is and moving forward, how things are going. You hear a lot about putting all these guys together is going to be terrible and cause a spike. And really, I think that we've seen by the way that we've reacted and the cleanliness of the facility and the way we're asking the guys to operate with masks and making sure they distance. We want them to use the facility, but we also want them to be safe. I think you've seen all that come to a point now where we should be the protocol for how things operate around the country, the way that I see it.
Yeah. Wow. Greg Stringfellow joining us here, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, Associate Athletics Director from the Athletics and Equipment Department over at LSU Football, joining us here on ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. You mentioned the facility, and you guys unveiled that a year ago, and it's beautiful, it's bright and shiny, but can you speak to the efficiency on just the day-to-day operations that you've gotten out of it over the last 365 days?
I think we saw an immediate effect last August when we moved in the building about how efficient it was. And Jack and I have talked about it several times since then, even as recently as a couple of weeks ago, about the efficiency that we created in the athletes' lives and the coaches' lives to be able to live in this building, really. They didn't have to drive across campus to eat. They didn't have to drive across campus to get in their dorms and take naps in between practices and meetings. We probably increased the amount of sleep that the guys got in August alone when you would be a lot of moving parts. And T-Bob's experienced that, where you have to go from the facility, dorm, to go eat, back here for treatment, to workouts, back to home to rest. All those things were a lot of moving parts where they would have to leave the building. And last August, we really saw where the guys would get here at 6 o'clock in the morning or whatever for meetings and wouldn't leave till 10 o'clock at night. They didn't have to leave to go home and sleep. So you were probably cutting about an hour to an hour and a half of travel time and wasted time out of their lives, where now the guys could eat dinner at night, right after practice, go eat dinner, take a nap for 45 minutes after dinner, then get ready for the evening meetings. In the mornings, the guys would come in here. They would come in, grab a breakfast in the dining. They would go to meetings, go to practice. After practice, they would do their treatment. Some guys would take a nap. Some guys would go work out. Then they'd have lunch. After lunch, they'd go, lay in their lockers and rest again. They'd go in the training room and get treatment. They would then get ready for meetings, then practice. So it really became, where not leaving the building saved you a tremendous amount of time and effort. And Jack and I have talked about it. When we went into New Orleans to the national championship game, we were as healthy as we were all season long. And we really think that the building and the way the guys acted, and then the practice schedule, and just the whole medical staff, training staff, the weight staff, the coaching staff, everybody worked together to make the guys' lives as efficient as possible and as healthy as possible. And that continues to this day. Imitation
is the best compliment. It's got to be great to look around and see everybody imitating the facility. You don't have to look too far in the SEC West.
What do you think about Bama's new strip club? Locker room.
No comment. We did have discussions. We share information, and once we exposed our building last August to the world, and they saw it, I did receive a lot of questions and comments, from all over the country, including Alabama. Jeff Springer, who is an LSU alum, he's the head equipment guy and assistant AD over at Alabama, and we talked a lot about kind of how we did our lockers and things like that. They were already under construction at the time, or in the planning stage, so they were pretty far along when we kind of let ours out there. So it's just one of those things where there's been a lot of calls, and a lot of people around the country from different sporting, pro sports, all that, looking at how we modeled our locker room and the efficiency of it and how to get rest in there, from NBA to Major League Baseball to all those items where guys really live in their locker room a lot of the time. It's been something, and you'll probably see more of that going forward.
Who hurt Jeff Springer so much that he could end up there? How about, okay, I will say this before I ask a question. If I was going to judge the two against each other, I think y'all's best change that y'all made is how open it feels. Every other locker room everywhere is closed off. It's sectioned off kind of section by section. It's truly an open feel in there, and that's what separates them even more in the pods. All right. As far as practice starting up tomorrow, though, football school, I believe it's walkthrough, so I don't know how much on the equipment front, but what about this idea of face mask inserts or face masks on the helmets? Have y'all explored this at LSU, or has the conference explored it? Like, what's the talk around face masks?
Absolutely. We've been looking at it for a while. Ever since this started, one of the first things we talked about is how, if the mask was going to be a thing, how do we do it and make it breathable? We've had experience with putting a face shield on the bottom part of the helmet face mask. A couple of years back, Foster Morrow had a jaw issue, and we had to cut a eye shield and put it on the lower part of the face mask. When we did that, we had to there's a lot of experimentation for him to be able to wear it. And you've seen some of his comments recently about how hard it was for him to breathe with it on. And we had to constantly drill little holes in it just to make it where he could breathe. So that was our experience several years back. So when this started coming up again, my thing was, we've tried this. How are we going to be able to accomplish this and still let the guys breathe? Because not being able to breathe at all in our environment is a terrible.
Right.
Let's just say that. T-Bob, running during the summertime and the heat outside with nothing on,
dude, it's terrible.
It was hard to breathe, right?
Terrible.
So just imagine covering your face and trying to do the same thing with a shield. There's a lot of different things on it. I'm not sure how they're going to require it, or if they're going to wait and see how it goes. There's still, it's not like that is up against your face. So there's still ways for whatever fluids to kind of move around. If you're wearing it over your mouth and you sneeze or you cough, it's going to keep what's going straight forward out. But you still have an opening at the bottom. So there's a lot of weird kind of things going on about how the best way to accomplish that is. As far as the players coming back, we're going full forward here. We're acting like we're playing on schedule. We're doing everything on schedule. We haven't missed a beat here. We've already started fitting helmets and shoulder pads just to get the guys ready. Make sure that on the day that they tell us we can do it, we're going to be 100% ready to go. We're not worried about all the other things surrounding it. We're worried about what goes on in this building, and we're moving forward to play football here.
Oh, yeah. G-String, Greg Stringfellow joining us here right here on ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Marcel Brooks left in the offseason, which means there's no number 9 on the roster. Nobody's going to get that, right?
Unofficially, I don't have any plans to have it used again
ever
in the near future or ever. That's something we talked about, and we researched how things went when Billy Cannon won the Heisman and all, and that it immediately, that number 20 was gone.
Oh wow!
Wow!
And it was gone unofficially because you can't really retire it right this second. You can't have the ceremony. You can't do all those things. There has to be a vetting process to it. But in my book, there's a number 9 sitting on my chair right here next to me, and that's probably one of the last ones that we'll see in an LSU uniform. If that's my feeling on it.
Yep.
I think that's the head coach's feeling on it.
Wow.
That's the people in the building. I think that's just kind of the right thing to do right this second. And that's where we're going from here. I can't say officially that it'll never happen until the day that paper's signed and it's officially retired. But right this second, in my opinion, it's just sitting here with me.
Let me speak for the entire fan base. We can co-sign on that.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about maybe the best football number in Louisiana history.
Ever.
Between Burrow and Breeze.
I'm telling you. Did Robin and the family ever get the Burrow jersey to Ohio?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
That's theirs. That was their process. That was their jersey. They have, they have a bunch of stuff.
Did you package in a G-string with it?
Well, no, I did not.
Oh.
But me Miss Robin and I and Mr. Jimmy, we've all laughed about it several times since that day of your embarrassment.
Thank you.
We've had a lot of fun at your.
Thank you.
I think that's our most viewed YouTube video.
It is, by far. Last one, and we'll get you out of here. There has always been as Coach O calls it, a standard performance for you guys as keeping that facility ultra clean. Does anything change with what has happened over the last few months to your protocol, to your day-to-day ops?
Well, I mean, one of the biggest things is we were using a little bit different disinfectant system to kind of disinfect the whole building. We're using some products that are military grade to really kind of, I don't want to say hose down because that's not what we're doing, but fog, mist. We're doing a lot of cleaning, and really it had the custodial staff and the facility staff have taken the lead and really have done a great job on it. I know Coach Moffitt uses the product in his weight room constantly in between groups. They've installed a whole system of air compressors and stuff in his area where they can mist every piece of equipment in there between each workout group, and the workout groups are really small. So that's the first step. The locker room, we fog it several times a day. We make sure that the guys are keeping the place clean. We make sure that they shower. One of the biggest things that I said, looking around the country, people were like, oh, we don't want them in the building. We don't want them in the locker room. My thing was our locker room is as clean and sanitary as any place that they'll be.
Yeah.
I want them to shower in their locker room. We're using the products that are protocol for them to use to shower. Washing your hands is a big thing. Hey, guys, y'all go in there after you finish working out. Get clean. Give me your laundry. Give my staff your laundry. We will have it clean for the next time you use it. That way you don't have to wear it home and try to figure out how to launder it yourself. That's what we do, and we want to make sure that you're protected. We think in our facility, the most protected place is being in our facility. And if you look from the beginning of this, when the players reported to now and how the numbers have gone, you saw those ESPN reports of however many guys had it or were quarantined. If you look at it from then to now, we're doing a great job in this building.
I agree.
And like I said, I think that when all of that arises, that you'll see that we're setting the standard for how this can be done and be done safely.
Yeah, Shelley and everybody else, everybody else who had a hand in putting together the protocols really knocked it out of the park. We said it yesterday.
Yeah, Shelley and Jack and the medical staff have done a spectacular job of keeping us moving in the right direction. They want football to happen as much as you guys and the people listening.
Yeah, I think it's valid and objectively true that the kids are actually safer there at the facilities and in that bubble than they would be just left at home to their own devices.
Thank you, G.
Absolutely. Great talking to you guys. And T-Bob, try to stay out of trouble.
Hey, I always do, man. You know me, G-String. No trouble here, just minivans.
Greg Stringfellow checking in from LSU football this morning. As you hear, it is a monster to keep the reigning national champs up and moving.
How about
that? He is a key cog in the decision making and the day-to-day operations of making that happen.
You got to have quality people at every at every turn, and whether, like you said, it's Shelley and Jack holding down on the medical side, stringing the equipment. It's you got good people right now at LSU.
Chad Durbin, 12 minutes from now and Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Speaking of good people, All-Star Toyota reminds you all the time. I'm a part of the All-Star family. Talk about Tommy Wagasback in the service department, Aaron Piku in the sales department, Lisa Sessions, who can get you into a rental. Michael Streeling, who's over in the service department as well. Michael knows you by first name when you pull up with your truck. And speaking of my firsthand experience here, only 25,000 miles into the Tacoma, it feels like you're part of the family. They know you by first name. They know what's going on with your truck when you pull up. They know you by cell phone. They give you a text or a phone call when it's done. It's a clean when you picked it up. All-Star family. T-Bob's a part of it. Joined it yesterday. Yeah. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Yeah, just joined. Got that new Sienna. It's beautiful. I got room for the kids, for the dog. It really feels like a bit of a mansion going from the Ultimate to it. It's awesome, man. And also it's pretty cool when I bought it. I got a great 72-month, 100,000-mile warranty. Anything breaks down, I never have to worry about it. They got my back. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Tune in to a Thursday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz. We are live at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar from 6 to 8 p.m. Come say hello and eat some oysters, or listen here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, good stuff from Greg Stringfellow there, talking about the efficiency of the building over there and just how it works in, day out. T-Bob was telling you about a lot of the decision makers and the people around there that are putting LSU in a best position to win championships. I mean, that's Shelly Mullenix and Jack Marucci and Greg Stringfellow and Ed Ogeron and Derek Panamsky and the crew over there, and their vision have set out a clear-cut organizational role and defined positions for people over there, and has put people in their lane and just let them run.
Yeah,
which is really kind of what O told you when he was hired. That was going to be his philosophy, right? I mean, this CEO model that we've discussed as Ogeron as the head coach, of just trying to find the right people, putting them in the best position, and allowing them to be creative and use their smarts, by all the while, like we heard Russ Callaway earlier this week, developing an environment and a culture where people want to show up to work. They don't want to leave. They create this family-type atmosphere where everybody's bought into one common goal, but each have a different role. It's really kind of a success story from just a business model,
Yes.
the way that they flow, the way that they are built. When you look at LSU football right now, the efficiency in which they run, even the recruiting class, I think is a good microcosm and example of who they are. T-Bob has always talked about the numbers of commits, right? 16 commits, yet you're ranked within the top 5 recruiting classes and have the least amount, alongside your peers. Other schools like Tennessee have 23 commits at this time. Florida, I believe, has 20 commits, where LSU is cherry picking and hand picking the ones that they want and going for more value out of their prospects.
They're using a little more discretion.
And just like people have been impressed with guys like Rajon Davis, who stopped by, Tristan Lee, who stopped by last week, who was a prime target. We talked to Garrett Dellinger a couple of weeks back here. Mason Smith has been on off the bench. All of these guys, I mean, forget what they do on the highlight film. They sound like good people.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that means something to what they're bringing into the organization right now.
Well, it definitely goes back to LSU's philosophy. Not that you can always you can't tell a person's character necessarily through an interview. There are plenty of people who are good con men.
Sure.
Myself, probably one of them. I've been able to say a lot of right things in my life, knowing that I am BSing through my teeth. But if
we can
nothing
make
else,
that happen. Absolutely,
but if nothing else, they're good salesmen because they did do a very good job of convincing me. Like, wow, what wonderful young men! They're so media savvy already. So look, the recruiting class is excellent. You're right. I think what was done at LSU, it does transcend sports. It's like if you're a CEO, this is ideal. You'd run your company, and it's not just hiring people because obviously he didn't hire String. He's been there for 3 decades basically. He didn't hire Shelly and Jack. They've been there for almost 4 decades now. Part of that skill set is knowing, okay, this works, so I'm going to keep this, and this doesn't work, so we're going to make some changes, and he's done that. And one thing that they've been very forward-thinking about, and it hit me again today listening to the Myles Brennan interview, is just the way that LSU uses the latest technology to their advantage. And what spurred this is Brennan was talking about using the walkthrough room, which last year, he's kind of laughs. We knew it was kind of a defense room. It was really made for Rand and connected to that defensive group. Myles said he literally didn't even know that it could be used for offense, but he said he wanted to try it. Coach O got the CEO of whatever company installed that. And for those that don't know, I guess, the walkthrough room is a room where one giant wall is just a television screen. And it can simulate lineups and formations so
it's
that
as if you're standing at the line of scrimmage.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Right. But you can put whatever look you want across from you. And so Coach O then got the CEO to come in, teach Myles how to do it. And he's been able to start to learn formation. So like he can get used to being back there and seeing, oh, look, even though they're trying to trick me into thinking it's cover 2, that safety's stacked over the cornerback. I know the cornerback's coming, so it's going to be cover 1 single high. Like he can see that now and get those reps ahead of time. And then, so there's that. We talked a ton about Jack Marucci's analytics that they've used, the character analytics, the recruiting analytics, what areas of the country produce the best NFL players, position-wise, right? There's the wide receivers and their eye tracking glasses, which give the quarterback and the receivers information about where they're best at, the kind of windows they ideally want it thrown into. They measured Myles' throw power and all this stuff and learned that, okay, you know what, Myles, you have a rocket arm. But on these short passes, there's no need to take advantage of that full rocket. Like you need a little touch. He adjusts his game, benefits follow. They have an AI jugs machine, which can throw routes. You can program it to throw routes. You can program it to throw into different areas of a player's catch radius. Right? I mean, for years now, they've had chips in the shoulder pads that track speed, power, distance. It's something that Sean Payton was talking about. They think that this is the Saints, that is. They were the first NFL team to partner with Zebra Technologies, who does the same thing. And they think it's one of the reasons why in the last few years, their injuries have gotten so much better. Because you can see output. You can see, okay, this guy's actually flagging a bit. I think his body's telling us to back off a little bit. This guy's body's telling us to push a little more. And LSU does all of this. They even partner with that program, and who knows if this ends up being successful or not, but partner with that program where it takes all these analytics and information from the weight room and the medical room and the coach staff, and it combines them all into one easy to understand kind of setup that the coach can then look at and use to make decisions. So LSU has been so forward-thinking, and then you look at G-String in the locker room and all that, in every facet of the program. And look, that's how you stay ahead of the curve. That's why they are where they are, and I think they deserve a ton of credit for doing so, especially because when Coach O was hired, not a lot of people would have thought that would have been one of his main calling cards, right? Because there is an instinct to judge him in a stereotype, be like, okay, a guy that sounds like that is not going to put the emphasis on data and analytics that Coach O actually has.
Chad Durbin, Major League Baseball opening day. We'll discuss it next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Brought to you by Central Plumbing Company, online centralplumbing.org. Get in touch with our friends Jay Payne, Zach Payne, Brandon LeBlanc this morning. 925-8552, 225 area code 925-8552. Online centralplumbing.org. If you need information about residential or commercial plumbing services, Central Plumbing Company is the stop. They're online centralplumbing.org, 925-8552.
Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org. Anything breaks down. You got some inclement weather coming in. Actually, if you want that generator, remember they can sell and install you a home generator so you never have to worry about losing power. Everybody from Central Plumbing is licensed, bonded, and insured, so you can trust who's coming into your home. Flat rate price structure means no surprise or hidden fees. The warranty gives you peace of mind. A year on new installation, a month on service work that, your problems are going to be fine after you pay. They are the best. A one-stop plumbing shop. I use them for everything. Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Quick question. When you leave work, who do you trust to clean up after you? Are they consistent, efficient, on time, and have they been cleaning Louisiana for over 30 years? If you answered no to any of those questions, it's time to go to JannyKingCleans.com and switch to Louisiana's local leader, Janny King. For a cleaner office, medical facility, school, building, church, venue, even stadiums, go to JannyKingCleans.com now and make the switch today.
Janny King, the king of clean.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier, so join us for Thursday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, remember everything online brought to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge. You can get Carriages online at carriagesbr.com or on social media, Instagram and Facebook. Opening day, Major League Baseball. Derbs, can you feel it? Doesn't it feel like opening day? No?
That's funny. No, it doesn't. But it's exciting. I'm curious to see what this is all going to look like. 2 games tonight. I think 1 at 6, 1 at 9.
Yep.
Giants, Dodgers, Yankees, Nationals. Should be some of the best players in baseball out there going against each other.
Garrett Cole, $325 million in the offseason. He'll be starting for the Yanks tonight. What do you make of their new ace?
No, he's one of the best in baseball. It's he's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think everybody in our listening base is pretty familiar with him because of his time with the Astros. He's a pure breed, man. He's big. He throws everything at a plus level. And I imagine it's going to be a different deal for all these guys trying to get. They're going to have plenty of adrenaline, but it's not going to be the same as what opening day traditionally means is, full houses and cheering crowds. Everybody's got a chance to win it all. And I guess this year more than any, everybody's got more of a chance to win it all than at any other time in baseball history. So, he's a stud. I know all the Yankees fans are really happy he's the one running out there right now.
Our producer here, Matthew Musso, is a diehard Boston Red Sox fan, and it's been a tough offseason for Boston. None highlighted more than yesterday's signing by the Los Angeles Dodgers as they wrapped up Boston's own draft pick, comes up through the farm system 2 years ago, AL MVP. Now 12 years he's inked as a Dodger. That could turn out to be about $390 million. Mookie Betts in Hollywood till 2033. What'd you make of it?
He's just twisting that knife on
the
side, right? I love it. I love it. I love watching that guy play. He plays with joy, intensity. One of the best fastball hitters in baseball. From everybody I know at the Dodgers, in that organization, they absolutely love the addition. He was that for Boston, and ultimately somebody was going to have to pay him, and it turned out to be, he's going to live on the coast, the other coast, and at least you don't have to play him 19 times a year.
There you go.
So that part will be there's silver lining.
There you go. All right.
What do you think about a contract that takes you till age 40 though, Chad? Like what does Mookie Betts have to do to make fans or to justify when he's like 38 years old?
So usually they're betting on the front end of that, the first 6 to 8 years being the return, and the only way to really get a guy like that for those 6 to 8 years is to sign him to 10 or 12. So you're same thing with Pujols. I mean, when they signed Pujols to his big deal, a lot of that had to do with the TV contracts and the fan base bringing in Dodgers fans to the Angels, and so there's a lot more factored in than just performance on the field. It's who's buying uniforms and buying TV packages and doing all that stuff. So it's a little more complicated than just that. But Betts is one of the best. He definitely deserved to be paid. He's earned it, and he's going to have to continue. Now, hey, if he doesn't play well, maybe Boston can get him back.
Yeah, there you go.
Discounted.
Isn't that what they do, right?
That was like all the talk. Boston fans are so cocky that they just thought that they were just going to get him back after his year in L.A. Well, didn't look like that worked out. I think we dropped Chad Durbin there.
See if we can't get Durbin back into the conversation here.
We'll talk about this a bit in the third hour as well. I want to get Musso's thoughts on it, but the MLB is in talks for this year. Actually, okay, Chad, you're back. Check this out. I read a report that the MLB for 2020, so right now, is still in talks of potentially expanding the playoffs from 10 to 16 games, or 10 to 16 teams, excuse me. What would be your thoughts on going to 16?
Man, I get torn. I'm on both sides of that. I really like the idea of more playoff baseball being played. It's, the brand of baseball is just so much fun for the players. So, and I imagine the fans, the casual fans are going to tune into a lot more games. I don't want it to feel like the NBA where it's not as important. You can be sub 500 and make it.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like that is worthy. That's like a guy hitting 220, 230, making an all-star team. To me, that just doesn't feel right. But at the same time, if it's what's best for the game and they're factoring all that in, I'm all for watching more playoff baseball. It's kind of like the regionals and super regionals and everything. The more playoff baseball we see, the better the brand of baseball is. So I'm all for it.
Do you have is there a team that is built for this? I mean, I was reading where like the Florida Marlins believe that they can make a run.
Huh. Yeah, because they're used to playing with no fans. They
60,
have an advantage.
60 games.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I misread.
Yeah, I mean, that is a great, that was a good training for them. But is there a team that is built for this type of run or this type of setup?
I feel like teams with better pitching staffs are more equipped to quickly get out and get ahead. I don't think the hitters are going to be quite where they would normally be. They usually, heat up a little later in the season, and later in the season is 60 games in now, and that's all we're playing. So, I feel like the staffs that can go out there and have shut down starters and relievers that come in and have traditionally gotten the job done, I feel like that is a distinct advantage this year. So, teams like the Yankees, teams like the Mets, if they had all their arms, the Phillies actually line up pretty well this year. I think having an elite catcher and an elite staff is a distinct advantage this year more than any.
Juan Soto versus Ronald Acuna Jr. Who's better?
I think Soto's better right now.
One for Musa.
I definitely they're both absolute studs. They're both young. I think Soto's proven it a little more. He's won a title. Acuna is enormously talented. He's still being reined in a little bit with some of the antics and not running through first base and all that stuff. And I just haven't heard the performance side on Soto. He's all about that team stuff, and he has some of his antics too that I wouldn't like. I mean, early in my career, I'd thrown one into his ribs, but that's not allowed anymore. Just for the antics, and a guy like that if there's a base open, you maybe just go on down there and rub that thing a little bit and get on first base. But I think both those guys are future stars in the game, they're current stars in the game, but they're young stars in the game. They bring a different brand of baseball with all the energy, and we need that. As much as I love Mike Trout, he's the best player in baseball, and he has a ton of energy, but it's suppressed a little bit in multiple ways, and that the media doesn't cover as much on that coast. And he's not an over-the-top type guy. He's more of the traditional, which is good. It ties the old school and new school together. But, Acuna and Soto and all those guys, man, they get it. They bring a ton of energy. They're exciting players. So, I like Soto a lot. I really do.
Yeah. Mike Trout's got that Wonder Bread energy. Like, you love it. It's great and everything, but just not a lot of spice there. Did Bregman, I think I know the answer here, but I want to get your take on it because I did hear this debated. Did Bregman and Altuve get beamed back-to-back on purpose?
During these exhibition games?
Yes, there was one. Now, the pitches were like, they were close enough where I think there was some area for benefit of the doubt. But what do you think? They got hit back-to-back in one of these scrimmages.
I don't think anybody's doing that right now.
Oh, wow.
I just don't think that's – I wouldn't hit somebody in spring training if there was a vendetta.
Huh.
I would do it on the big stage.
Okay.
That's just my own personal opinion. I think they're going to pick their spots with them. And maybe apathy is how I would treat it. Like, I'm past it. I've dealt with it. You're going to deal with it a little bit more. You lucked out with COVID. The attention that was coming into spring and going into the regular season in April would have been a whole lot different, but hey, maybe that makes more people watch. Hey, let's see if these guys get hit. So I just don't know that. I don't know how many guys are going to sit in a room and or by themselves and say, hey, I'm going to take this vigilante approach and just drill some guys. So I don't know that that's happening right now, but again, you give a 25 to 35-year-old kid, his emotions and how he really feels about how cheating or the alleged cheating affected them personally, and maybe you just say, you know what, I'm going to throw 95 off this guy's shoulder.
Chad Durbin, weekly with us here. Two things on this, and then we'll get you out of here. What did you make of the Patrick Mahomes contract, because it had a very baseball feel to it? And what's the reputation of his dad within the league, within Major League Baseball, Patrick Mahomes Sr., who was I believe he played in the bigs for 10 years plus.
Long time. He had a great career, and everybody that I know that played with him absolutely loved playing with him. Great guy. I think you see a kind of a reflection of him in his son. He plays with a joy and more joy now, because man, those checks are gonna be fun. But,
yes, they are.
It does feel like baseball. I feel like the NFL understands in that position specifically that the length of careers, it's just with all the protection of the quarterbacks, with it being such a pass-heavy league, and with him being so dynamic and bringing Kansas City onto the world stage, I think they're going to see the return on the investment, or they never would have signed the paperwork.
Yep.
Chad Durbin with us every week. Thank you, man. Have a good weekend.
All right, guys. You too.
Enjoy opening day. Go
Opening
Braves.
day for Major
tomorrow.
League Baseball. Chad Durbin talking about it a little bit there. We'll close that hour 2 next.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily here on Off the Bench by Coy's Diesel. Remember, online at coysdiesel.com. Get in touch with Coy and the crew today if you need service on a light, medium, or heavy-duty diesel truck. Coy and his crew are ready for you over there on Airline Highway. If you need maintenance, Coy's Diesel has techs available all day to take care of your maintenance needs. Drive up with no appointment necessary. Online, coysdiesel.com.
CoysDiesel.com. That was a weird noise. CoysDiesel.com. If your
Where'd that come from? Nose or mouth?
I don't honestly know. I think the air intake may have been from the nose, but the noise may have generated in a back jowl. If my mouth was a diesel vehicle, though, Coys could tell you exactly where that noise came from with their excellent emergency 24/7 roadside assistance. In fact, I could just hop on a CoysDiesel.com right now if my mouth was a diesel vehicle, and I could get them out here to the studio to fix it immediately. If only they were that easy. Well, it is. With diesel vehicles, at least. With CoysDiesel.com, CoysDiesel.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Reviews are a smart judge of character. If you see this, it's time to move on. But this? Now that's a keeper. Richards Honda is proud of our 97% customer satisfaction rating. Every day, we're stepping up our game to make you feel safe. From masks to social distancing to new ways to shop. Richards Honda is committed to fanatical customer care. Because when people call you the smart choice, you'd better live up to it. Visit us today, I-12 at Millerville Road and richardshonda.com.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information.
Tune in to a Thursday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz. We are live at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar from 6 to 8 p.m. Come say hello and eat some oysters or listen here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, closing down hour 2 here on Off the Bench. Stick around for OTB OT. T-Bob will drive you up until 10 o'clock here on ESPN Baton Rouge. Remember, all of our sound on Off the Bench is brought to you by Carriages. Stop in and see Will and the crew over there. Lots of discussion about Myles Brennan today. We gave you the sound from the Hey Fightin' podcast. Cody Worsham was able to sit down with Myles Brennan and talked about everything from his weight, being around 220 pounds, to his relationship with Steve Ensminger and following up Joe Burrow. We also played another soundbite from Emily Dixon talking about some of the creative ways that that Brennan kept himself in shape. My bad, Myles. I'm going to get it, buddy. I promise.
You did it again.
Yeah, I did it again. But T-Bob was talking about some of the numbers we were talking about in the break.
Well, hold on. An anonymous user in the huddle says, and I want to get your reaction. What do you think your reaction to the stat line would be? How do you think Brennan will play? 15 touchdowns, 1,800 yards passing?
He's got to be better than that.
Yeah, right. I mean, right. If that was the numbers.
I mean, I was hoping that's Jamar Chase's season.
That's funny that could actually be his season. Actually, it would even be less of a season than he had last year.
Well, and I expect that to happen. For the record, I expect his numbers to go down, but I think that he will have a larger impact on the game because of what you'll see coverages and defenses showing him attention. And watch, I see Reek Gilbert, Trey Palmer, Terrace Marshall having enormous seasons.
So obviously, if those were the numbers, that would be meltdown season amongst the LSU faithful, and rightfully so. Like, this year is key for LSU to prove that they can produce consistently good quarterback play. My brain, because Burrow's numbers are so exorbitant, my brain immediately goes to the 60% metric. If you can give me 60% of what Joe Burrow did last year, then I think you'll be all right. So Joe Burrow threw for 5,671 yards. 60% of that is 3,400 yards. He threw for 60 touchdowns. 60% of that is 36 touchdowns. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. But 60% of that would be 36 touchdowns. And then even if we wanted to go the other way and add on 60% of his interceptions, well, then that would bump it up to 10. Which is fair. And then so if you can hit 65% completion, 3,400 yards, 36 touchdowns, 10 picks, that's a hell of a stat line.
I'm all in.
It's a hell of a stat.
I'm all in.
And what's funny is we're acting like that's easy. As somebody pointed out in the huddle, I think, I should check this. Somebody said this in the huddle. We'll double check. But they're saying that the school record for touchdown passes was 28.
In a season?
Yeah. Going into that year.
The Jamarcus?
So basically we're saying, just do 60% of what Joe did. But at the same time, break over 100 years of school records in doing so, because that would put him at 36 scores. So maybe that's even unrealistic, but that's a great, if you can do that, then LSU's going to be in good hands for years to come. When you look at the quarterback talent they also got coming down the pipeline. One interesting thing to note as well, and I guess Handy must have been talking about this, they were talking about the huddle thing, Nookie is that we may also, I know I'm using season numbers here, depending on what happens to the schedule, we may have to start reframing how we think in terms of per game numbers. Just because we may not get the, he may not
won't get the 15.
Yeah, not to get the 15, to get the 60 scores and, and almost 6,000 yards.
I mean, he closed the regular season last year with, 45 touchdowns? I think he threw 15 in the SEC playoff and national championship game.
Yeah, he did. And
he threw 7 against Oklahoma.
Yeah, he went on a Joe Flacco-esque tear, but and even better during those playoffs.
Chase had one against Georgia. Jefferson didn't have one against Marshall.
Jefferson had one. Oh, no, those 4 against Oklahoma. I get those games confused because they're both in Atlanta. I'll look up the scores
I think
right
he
here.
closed the regular season with 45 touchdowns. I mean, he went nuts.
It's like how Flacco had the 11 touchdowns and no pick run when they won the Super Bowl that year. I find that to be very similar to Burrow's latest performance.
All right, hour 3, stick around. OTB OT with T-Bop up until 10 o'clock.
Okay, yeah, he threw 4 touchdowns against Georgia, 7 against Oklahoma, and 5 against Clemson. So that's 15.
9 plus 7 is 15, right?
Oh, wait, no, he screwed up. That's 16. Damn.
Wow. All right, OTB OT, All-Star Toyota
put
driving
on the T-shirt. 9 plus 7 is 15, right?
And then on the back put, damn.
That's impressive. All right, hour 3 next. We're going to dive into some
All right, I'm out of here.
Pels.
Later, bro.
Kingmaker, Holla Man, have a great day. We got Pelicans talk coming up, MLB as well. We got Shamit do it, Fear the Brown.
Off the bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Go to securedshreddingrecycling.com, even though we've talked about them today, but I do love them. So you want to go to Ochsner Sports Performance Training. Go to Ochsner.org for more information, Ochsner.org/sportsmedicine. Me and Jordy toured the Grove here at Baton Rouge. It's brand new. The facilities are second to none. Like, they are professional team facilities, and yet you, as a high school athlete, as an ancient athlete, Jordy,
yes,
you can get in there, and whether you're in, like, if you just want to work out, maximize your performance, gait analysis, figure out how to maximize your speed, they do all of that there. If you do get injured, you can explore the best non-surgical options, and if you have to get operated on, they got the best doctors, the best physical therapy facilities, the best everything. Maximize your potential with Ochsner.
Remember, over at Ochsner, you can find them online at ochsner.org/sportsmedicine. Go through all the state-of-the-art facilities online at ochsner.org.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Ochsner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Ochsner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Ochsner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin
and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour is brought to you by...
Good morning. It is 9 a.m. Thursday, July the 23rd. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see afternoon storms with a high of 88. In case you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch that now up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. It's brought to you by Carriages. Coming up today on OTB OT, we recap the Pelicans' first scrimmage with Schmidt Dua at 9:30 a.m. You can follow today's show by joining us inside the 1045 ESPN Huddle app, brought to you by Bayou Ford, on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch us live on YouTube. That's the 1045 ESPN channel. And make sure to subscribe to the Off the Bench channel and set your notifications. OTB OT starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What's up, y'all? What is going on? Welcome into OTB OT. T-Bob Hebert, Danny Cardenas, Matthew Musso going to hang out with you for this last hour today. Got a lot of great stuff on the docket. Dipped our toes back into the professional sports water last night. And I'll be damned if it didn't feel good. Like a blessing from heaven. I watched a live professional broadcast in which two teams went toe-to-toe. Yes, it was just an NBA scrimmage, but given the nature of the NBA bubble, given the depth of the Pelicans and the amount of players that can have impacts on their chase to the playoffs here over these 8 games, there was actually a ton to be learned and a ton to be gained last night, and it was a ton of fun. That's why I'm rocking my Pelly's jersey today. Got my Zion jersey on, which I bought from China immediately when the Pelicans got the first pick. I am thinking about getting a Lonzo Ball jersey after last night. Lonzo Ball looks like he is here to stay, and he looks like he's going to continue to ball.
Are you thinking about it, or is it actually already on the way?
No, I haven't ordered it yet.
Okay.
I haven't ordered it yet. That is the type of thing where we're already so close to the bubble that I don't necessarily want it for this run. It's more of a long-term investment. And so that makes like a great like Christmas gift for my wife, something along those lines, you know. So then that way she has something to buy that I'll love and that it just works out for everybody. Like if you ever have things like that, unless you and your significant other are really good at getting gifts and really good into surprises, just do everybody a favor. Let your significant other know, and you're good to go. It's like I found out that Patrick Rothfuss, one of my favorite writers ever, who writes the Kingkiller Chronicles, which by the way, some of the best fantasy you've ever read. It's only 2 books long. You should read it. He writes kids' books. I had no idea. Obviously, I'm now going to get those for my kid. I said, make a great gift, so sure. Tell your significant other. But the NBA was back last night. I'll give you all my thoughts on the Pelicans last night and their broadcast. It was an absolutely spectacular broadcast. Shout out to Graffinini, Salerson, John DeSazier, the entire Pelicans crew. Also, it is MLB opening day today. Yankees Nationals at 6 p.m. Giants Dodgers at 9 if you're into some late night West Coast weirdness. DJ LeMahieu, former LSU Tiger, going to be leading off this new 2020 60-game sprint when he squares up with Max Scherzer. Hopefully the inclement weather holds off. I want to talk about baseball potentially expanding to 16 teams. And Musso, I'll give you an opportunity to say your piece on this here. And you too, Danny, if you have any thoughts on it. I just said Musso because he's the baseball guy. But to me, outside looking in, it feels a bit odd to now want to expand to 16 teams. And the only reason being is what has been the main kind of joke about this 60-game season. It's like, oh, look, baseball finally found a way to make every game matter. If you go from 10 to 16, then all of a sudden it's like you found a way to make every game matter, and they started mattering a little too much. And so now you're backing off, and now we're just going to put everybody in the playoffs. What do you think, Moose?
Well, it's even more than that. I mean, they said all along, we don't want to play in November because of the second wave. We're not going to play in November, so it has to be over before November. But if you expand the playoffs to 16 teams, it's going to go into November, which I'm all for. Expand the playoffs. Please.
You are for expanding the playoffs, though?
Do it.
Okay.
Just from a pure fan standpoint, yes, because there's playoff baseball is the best baseball.
That's fair. And if I wanted to just argue for your side, although I'm not sure instinctually, like I said, I'm at keeping it. But if I did want to argue for expansion, in a sport like baseball where you play so many games, and this is how the NBA, I think, maybe actually, now that I'm talking about it out loud, in a longer season, the expanded playoffs ironically adds value because there's nothing worse than your team being eliminated 3/5 of the way through a 162-game season, right? I mean, that's a great recipe for completely checking out and nobody giving a damn about that team.
If you expand the playoffs, you do have to shorten the season from 162. I don't think you have to shorten it a lot, but you have to shorten it from 162 because you get into the same thing. Like, okay, what's the point? We just played 162 games and 16 teams were still good enough to make it in.
That's true.
You have to make it matter more if you're going to allow that many teams. 162 might be too many for that, but if you take 25 games away, you're doing better than.
If you do stay though, well, actually, and then so really, there's no difference between 140 and 162 for what I was about to lay out. So yeah, either way, if it's 140 or it's 162, at least then you're going to keep more fan bases locked in longer than they would be. Like look at the NBA right now; they got 22 teams in that bubble. You saw the Brooklyn Nets last night. Brooklyn Nets fans should not care about anything that is going on right now. But if they want to, they at least have a rooting interest because they're there. And they mathematically have a chance to make those playoffs. So no matter how bad they are, no matter how many players are sitting out that didn't travel with the team or how many guys are hurt, at least Nets fans still have a bit of a rooting interest. Musso, how are you feeling, man? Mookie Betts.
Not good. And
signed with LA, 12-year extension, fully guaranteed, $365 million. Actually breaks Mike Trout's record that he had just set. 27 years old, former MVP, 4 consecutive Gold Gloves, elite hitter, Boston farm product. A lot of Red Sox fans thinking he was going to end up back in Boston. This was just a fling with LA, a summer tryst, if you will. And then when asked if he would have taken the same contract in Boston, he paused for a second, smiled, said, that's a really good question. But we're just going to focus on the fact that I'm in LA. I take that to mean, obviously, yes, I would have signed that deal in Boston.
Of course he would. Of course. Okay, see, I have to not get too fired up because if I do, I'm going to curse, and that's not good. So, Mookie Betts deserves the contract.
Okay.
He's a great player. Loved every minute of him playing in Boston. It was fantastic to watch. His 2018 was legendary. I mean, their whole 2018 was legendary, but his specifically was incredible at the top of the order for that team and defensively in the outfield. But everyone thought this was going to go to free agency eventually.
Yeah.
Whether it was in Boston or not. That's the thing. You could have just kept him for this year, let it get to free agency, and try to sign him for that deal after you get under your luxury tax, because that's what they also wanted to do. But instead, you just dealt him away because you didn't want to have to deal with it. And that is pathetic. I'm sorry. He's the second best player in baseball. And you didn't want to deal with it, so you traded him for Alex Verdugo.
Yeah. I mean, me, new to the baseball game here. I don't know who Alex Verdugo is.
He's not Mookie Betts.
But I know Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts transcends into just kind of common knowledge. That's the thing about L.A., though, man. L.A. sucks in a lot of ways, and it's hyper expensive. But if you have a lot of money, L.A. can be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Mookie's got a lot of money now.
The weather's unbelievable. You get yourself like some sort of beachside mansion. He wants like a limo drive. He can have a personal driver now. He doesn't have to deal with LA traffic. If you have money, that city can hook you wholly and fully. And it looks like that's what the Dodgers are banking on. Basically saying, look, we're going to bring him over here, see if we can get him to fall in love with it, and then be like, hey, look, we have all this money we want to pay you. And sure enough, it turns out that it worked out, and he's going to be a Dodger till he is 40 years old. And that's all fully guaranteed, right? Even if they wanted to get rid of it, Wow, unbelievable. What a good feeling it has to be when you take a pen and sign your name to a piece of paper and you know that you have 330 million coming your way. Oh, dude, it's something I can't really wrap my head around that, to be quite honest.
He deserves it.
But the other big news of the day, Danny boy, are you ready to declare the Pelicans the guaranteed eighth seed after last night's performance?
I'm declaring it. Yeah, it's official.
Yeah.
Even though it was against the Brooklyn Nets, and there's the backups and a bunch of scrubs.
Is Lonzo Ball the best guard in the NBA?
He looked really good last night.
He did.
If he can keep up his 3-point shot like he was last night, Pelicans are definitely a threat.
That's what I was most worried about with Lonzo, right? That's what I wanted to see last night, is because at the beginning of the year, he was all right. He got better and better as the year gone on. He's made himself into a 40% three-point shooter on the team. Going into, January 1st on, I think he's even at 43. His last 5 games for the shutdown, he was at 50. And so my concern was, okay, that's a guy riding a heater, and that with the break that was going to fall off. There looked to be no fall off last night. Lonzo, I think he ended with 8, 4, and 4, somewhere around there in very limited minutes. But there's just a je ne sais quoi. It's something about how he's carrying himself right now. That is a guy who just looks so much more confident and comfortable than he has at any other point in his career. And it looks like a guy who knows, I'm the floor general. Okay, this is my team, and I'm the one that's going to kind of dictate the pace of how all of this goes. Jackson Hayes in the starting lineup was interesting, though I did have to miss the first quarter trying to get the kids down so I could watch the game. Jackson Hayes in the starting lineup. Okay, so I think maybe I need to pump the brakes on Nickeil Alexander-Walker hype a little bit. Okay, I was kind of building him up to be this guy that, okay, when Lonzo has to go sit, maybe Naw can be the guy that comes in there, and him and Drew pair well. Naw's still rusty. He made some great plays down the stretch, but that is still a man with the greenest of green lights, maybe unjustifiably so. He will throw up some shots. And it turns out maybe when you grow an inch, as Nickeil Alexander-Walker reportedly has in this lockout or this shutdown, when you grow an inch in a matter of a few months, you're still going to be a little awkward. You're going to be a little gangly. So a ton of potential there. I don't think he'll be a factor, not a huge factor down the stretch. The guards that did assert themselves last night, outside of Lonzo and Drew, your two starters, E'Twaun Moore looked fantastic. And this is just classic E'Twaun Moore. Not a flashy guy, just like the epitome. And I even liked his comments about playing in the gym afterwards, man. He was like, it's just like basketball, man. We've been playing outside, playing in front of nobody our entire lives. And E'Twaun Moore looked like a man who was fully comfortable. And he could play a huge role in terms of being on that second unit, keeping up the scoring, the combinations. Because like we said, the Drew-Lonzo combination is dominant. Outscores their opponents by 12 per 100 possessions. When Lonzo leaves, Drew and anybody else goes to -1. E'Twaun Moore could help to right that ship a bit. Nicolo Melli looks solid. I mean, really everybody just looked good last night. And I love Melli. He pairs well with whatever kind of combo you want to use him on. He could be the sole big man on the floor. He could pair well with Jackson Hayes. He could pair well with Zion, with Derek Favors, and that's because he creates space. And then how could I go this long without mentioning Brandon Ingram? I mean, honestly, he is going to be the reason why you win or lose in these 8 games, and he looked like an all-star last night. He looked like somebody who picked up even better maybe than where he left off. Remember, he was playing his best basketball without Zion, and that's another big takeaway from last night. That looked like a team that thinks they can win without Zion. And I know how it is when you're in those locker rooms and you lose your star player. And look, all of them are pros, okay? All of them have that absurd pride and ego and work ethic that it takes to become a professional athlete. And so when all of a sudden your guy's out and you hear all the chatter about like, oh, are they done for? Can they win? Can they do that? That's a shot to your pride. And this is a Pelicans team that, yeah, we struggled early on without Zion, but they had kind of found their footing by the time that he came back. And so they believe, yeah, we can win without him, man. He's good. He's good. He's great. But he is a rookie. They got a lot of salty, solid vets there as well. Josh Hart looked great last night. Just a really solid opening scrimmage from the Pelicans. As far as maybe some around the court stuff, what did y'all think about the new court setup that the NBA is using?
Well, so I didn't watch last night.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
But what they use the LED stuff for? Just like plastic signage. I guess was it supposed to be a Nets home game?
Yeah.
So they put like the opposing team's logo on it. That is key though. So one thing that the screens do, obviously they're not going to go with my incredible idea, which is to use the Mandalorian LED screens to make like lava backgrounds or space backgrounds or like buffaloes, like a herd of buffalo as your background. That's fine. But not having empty seats is an excellent move. Like putting the screens, blocking the empty seats. What do y'all think about? So there were a lot of unintentional out of bounds moments last night, turnovers. And I mean, I think it's kind of because the court, if you're watching online, you can't see, like the court is not painted because they have to keep these things neutral, right? So it's just a very base setup. I kind of like it. It feels very old school in a way. But it does seem to be confusing the hell out of the players. They were losing themselves on the court a lot. Do you think that they should do anything with the edges to kind of make it a little more defined?
You can still paint that and keep it neutral. I mean, do it the red, white, and blue that your logo is or something. I mean, you can keep it neutral and still paint it.
I kind of like it unpainted, but Sean Kelly on Twitter actually pointed out, and he's probably right here. It does look like some great ad space, doesn't it?
There you go.
I mean, Moscona would be he would be drooling from the mouth right now, looking at all that negative space, dude. I mean, you throw some digital ads on there. You're not being able to sell tickets, get a little revenue makeup there. Like that makes too much sense, at least on the baselines. You would imagine. One interesting thing though, the court decisions are not just aesthetic. And I got to go. I've gone way over. It's not just aesthetic. I apologize. There was a functional impact at times last night too. One time, JJ Redick was inbounding the ball from where in a normal NBA stadium he would be like a foot in front of a person sitting courtside. He'd have no room. Well, there's nobody behind him. He just stepped back like a yard and a half to inbound the ball, and the ref didn't tell him anything. I'm like, oh, okay, so you could just use all this extra space. That's kind of impressive.
From the first row.
Hey, look, dude, JJ. If anybody's going to take advantage of something like that, it's a salty vet who's made the playoffs every single year of his career. So as a Pelicans fan, yes, Danny is correct, and Danny did come in tempering mine and Jordy's expectations, rightfully so. That is a garbage Brooklyn team that is like they weren't even good to begin with, and then they're missing all of their best players. But the Pelicans can only control what they can control, and they put their best foot forward last night and got me even more hyped. And shout out to the Pelicans media team, broadcast team. Again, if you lived within the 75 miles, if you didn't, I know that's frustrating, but if you did, the production value on last night was really spectacular. All right, when we get back, going to talk a little Saints football, and then we got Shamit Dua coming up to talk Pelicans at 9:30. This is OTB OT.
OTB OT.
Sports will be back.
But for now, we're all rooting for a different kind of hero.
Let's embody the best parts of sports.
Teamwork,
sacrifice,
resilience.
One goal. Together.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
104.5 ESPN invites you to take a short quiz for a chance to win a brand new EU1000 generator from our friends at Bozeman Distributors. Simply go to 1045ESPN.com now through August 16th and take the quiz to see how prepared you are for hurricane season. Everyone who takes the quiz is automatically entered to win the generator. Our winner will be chosen on Monday, August 17th. Get prepared for hurricane season from 1045 ESPN and stay prepared with Bozeman Distributors.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier, so join us for Thursday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back, OTB OT. Shelby Kelly dealing with something that all of us have to deal with eventually in our lives. It says, as a 27-year-old male, that played baseball my whole life, this Mookie Betts deal make me really wonder what I'm doing with my life. I know I'm not a freak athlete, but damn. It is true, dude. For me, this first came with Jason Hayward, actually, where it's that feeling because when you're growing up, you see all these players, and they're old. They're adults, right? And then you eventually reach that threshold where all of a sudden, the guys that you're watching, you realize, oh, wait, he's younger than me. Wait, he's younger than me. He's making millions of dollars. Wait, he would have been like a freshman when I was a senior in high school. He's like real young. And you think about and then you just start feel old, and then you start looking at these guys on television, and all of a sudden they no longer look like your peers. They no longer look like adults. They look like kids. Like now, when I see these NBA players, they look like kids. And so yeah, Shelby, look, it does drive it home. If you're a badass athlete, it's pretty sweet making all that money that early on. Did y'all remember when you kind of first had these feelings?
I'm trying to think of who it might have been, but it's definitely happened for sure.
It was Hayward specifically. I'll just never forget it because he was like 19, and I think I was maybe 20 or 21 at the time at LSU playing, and watching this guy sign multi-million-dollar contracts and dominate as a professional 19 just blew me away. Also, though, Jason Hayward looked 31 at the time. He looked like my age now. He has always looked a bit beyond his years. He's a monster. All right, before we get to Shmito, I want to talk a little bit about the Saints. I'm going to ask y'all as I set this up, so y'all two can think about it, Danny, Musso. I want you to think about who your top 5 Saints would be on the roster. And I just mean best player.
Currently,
right now. Top 5 best players. This is something that Larry Holder is doing in The Athletic. He only has 20 through 11 today. So I want us to kind of establish our top 5 and see where we line up with Larry, because I do respect his opinion. On his 20, starting at number 20, I worked 20 to 11. He has Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Speaks well to what a job GJ has done in terms of getting people excited for his second year here. He had an immediate impact last year. He'll be in the nickel safety battle, nickel corner, whatever you want to call it, right? He could play safety or that slot corner. And I want to see, is it him? Is it P-Rob who wins that battle? But either way, him coming in at number 20 on the list after not being ranked last year. David Onyemata at 19. Andres Pete at 18. Still one of the most quirky things about the offseason is Pete's contract. I mean, you can understand it because of his versatility. He had massive leverage, but only checks in at number 18 here on this list. You got Malcolm Brown, the big nose guard, who we never talk about, but has had a solid impact for this New Orleans Saints team, doing a lot of the dirty work on that defensive line, like an O lineman, actually. No glory. It's what it's like being one of those nose guards. Marcus Davenport, checking in right after him. Taysom Hill, Marcus Williams, who is much better than people think. It's just that he has had some very low moments, which, as we talked about, like how an O lineman, he could dominate 20 plays in a row. You don't give a damn. He gets a holding penalty or gives up a sack, you're ready to kill him. That's kind of like Marcus Williams' career. On the whole, he's been actually truly excellent. It's just that he had the Minnesota Miracle, he had the face mask in San Fran last year, which ends up costing you some. Maybe people, I think, in their head rate him a bit differently. Eric McCoy, checking at number 12, and then Malcolm Jenkins comes in at number 11. So that's Larry's Holder 20 through 11. Now, as far as my top 5 Saints go, I think this is where I'm at. I'm going to start at number 5. Number 5, I got Demario Davis. All-pro linebacker, incredible leader, on and off the field. What more could you ask from your middle linebacker? I mean, to have Drew Brees on one side as your mental leader and Demario Davis on the other side, any NFL team would want that. Checking in number 4 on my list. Or do y'all have your number 5s? Do y'all have your list ready to go? Do y'all want to give your number 5s?
Mine is also Demario Davis.
Okay, love it. Danny boy?
When healthy, I'm putting Alvin Kamara. I mean, I think he's super valuable to the team when he's healthy. And, he can change the game in an instant. When you give him the ball, he'll make a play, and it'll be a touchdown.
That's completely fair.
Flash. But when healthy.
And look at how we talked about it the other day. Look at Russ Callaway. Talk about how the game's changing. Running backs have to be able to catch the ball like Alvin Kamara can. Look at what Christian McCaffrey just got paid because they believe Carolina's a result in wins and losses. So, yeah.
He's unguardable in the past. I saw someone on Twitter post a video of all his passing routes, and he was no linebacker can like cover him.
No, I mean I think because Alvin Kamara is actually not on my list, and I think that it is because last year he played so injured. And I wish I could rattle off the numbers off the top of my head, but Underhill, in one of his pieces on New Orleans Football, there's a clear line of demarcation between weeks 1 through 5, Alvin Kamara, and then he gets hurt, and there's like a steep statistical drop-off from that point. So he was playing injured last year. Make no mistake. It's just that the Saints have a very good roster right now, so I don't have him on there. Number 4, I got Ryan Ramczyk, multi-time All-Pro. Makes too much sense there. Who do you got?
Cam Jordan.
Okay.
Cam Jordan at 4.
I'm putting Ramczyk as well.
Yeah, I couldn't put Jordan. No, Jordan's number 3 for me. I couldn't put Ramczyk over Jordan. Ramczyk's excellent. Like I said, it's crazy to say, but you could talk about him as a potential Hall of Famer. That's how good he has been thus far. But Cam Jordan already is. This guy made an all-decade team, okay? He is consistent. I think he is easily the best two-way edge defender in the entire NFL. He's never missed a play with the Saints. He plays over 90% of the snaps, or never missed a game, excuse me. He plays over 90% of the snaps each season, too. He's an absolute monster. Cam Jordan, number 3 on my list. Who's 3 on your, Moose?
Is Drew.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for there, Moose. So what do you got? Who do you got?
Cam Jordan as well.
Okay,
I mean,
so
just dominant. Yeah.
So why Breeze at 3, Moose? I have him at 2 on my list.
No, it's just, I mean, he's still the guy, right? I mean, he's still their quarterback and whatnot, but Drew, for everything that he's done, has been fantastic. Drew is at the end of his career.
Yeah,
he still deserves to be in the top 5, but...
And a lot of this is kind of comparing them to their peers.
There you go. So
and Drew is, I think he's a definite top 5 quarterback, but that is not a consensus opinion.
Of course not.
In NFL circles, as we figured out yesterday. So I have Breeze at number 2. Danny, who do you have at number 2?
Number 2, I have Michael Thomas.
Oh, okay. And then
I have Ramczyk at number 2.
Oh, wow. Okay, so a lot of love.
Love him.
For what the right tackle's done early on. Respect. And then, and obviously I have Breeze at 2 because he's not a consensus top 5 quarterback right now. The guy who is a consensus top 3, a lot of people argue number 1 in the league. Madden just gave him the 99. I got Mike Thomas as the best player on the Saints roster.
Same.
Breaking NFL records, unparalleled amongst his receiver brethren. Everybody's saying Julio. He outcaught Julio by like 400 yards last season and 1 million catches. So, yeah, give me Mike Thomas as the best player on this Saints roster. Danny?
I got Drew Brees.
Okay.
Even though he's old,
okay,
he's still slinging it around. I mean, you saw it from the Texans game, the home opener. Like, he can just break down a defense in like literally 30 seconds.
That drive was masterful.
Yeah,
the drive was masterful.
He still has it in him, and he makes the engine go for the Saints offense.
And that's why it's so frustrating that when we were in the Rodgers-Brees debate yesterday, people are throwing playoff records out there, and they're actually very comparable. I think Rodgers is 10-8, Brees is 8-6. But the context of Brees is 8-6 can be a bit heartbreaking, right? Leading a 17-point comeback in the second half in Minnesota against one of the best defenses in the league, only for the Minnesota Miracle to happen. Lining everything up perfectly to go to the Super Bowl on a year where you have a very good chance for the Nola no call to happen. Like, you could easily be talking about Brees at 10-4. And with another Super Bowl appearance, it could push him to 11-4 with 2 Super Bowls, but whatever. We could no call will always haunt Saints fan forever. But those are your top 5 players. Let's see if Larry Holder, I think he'll probably release on the other tomorrow, see if he agrees. Coming up next, though, we're going to talk to my guy, Shamit Dua, at Fear the Brown on Twitter. We're going to talk some Pels. Stick around here on OTB OT.
OTB OT. Off the Bench, hanging with Hester and Hanny. After Further Review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube page. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat. Find highlights for each show's channel and get notified whenever we go live.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Tune in to a Thursday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz. We are live at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar from 6 to 8 p.m. Come say hello and eat some oysters, or listen here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back, OTB OT. Talking some Pellies after their dominant scrimmage win last night. Pelicans now 6-0 in the preseason, if you're counting the earlier preseason and this preseason. That's right. And right now, it's my pleasure to welcome in Shamit Dua at Fear the Brown on Twitter. It's excellent Pelicans coverage and podcast. Shamit, thank you so much for joining us this morning. What's going on, man?
Hey, T-Bob. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to talk some Pelicans basketball finally, you know?
So we'll just start there. How did it feel to you personally last night just watching live NBA basketball that had like a scoreboard and announcers and everything else.
It was incredible. It was like a shot of dopamine directly into my bloodstream, and I've been waiting for NBA basketball for quite some time, and to watch it actually produced at such a high level. The camera work was great. The court presentation was great. It looked extremely professional, and I'm glad it's back.
Yeah, we talked about it. The screens, everything. Those are all good choices, very smart choices. The little murmur of crowd noise. The NBA did a good job there. But let's talk about the Pelicans and their on-the-court performance. First, Schmidt, we've been having this debate. How much stock should you be putting, like, how much excitement should you be drawing from last night?
I'm going to kind of throw a wet blanket on this. Preseason generally means nothing, especially when you're going against a Brooklyn Nets team who is fielding maybe 3 NBA players total at this time and is extremely shorthanded. So I would say the fact that the Pelicans took care of business and blew them out is a good sign. It would have been troubling if they struggled. But even if they struggled, that's not really something you can take much from because they haven't played organized basketball in over 3 months. This is the first time they're playing against an opponent team, so no one has any idea how any of these players are going to look. But it looks good that they haven't lost much of a step.
Well, and that to me was so impressive was that you expected a level of rust, and whether that was just because the Nets are so bad or not, that looked like a sharp Pelicans team in terms of execution, both team-wise and individually. So if we were to draw some conclusions from last night, what do you think your biggest takeaway would be? Like, for me, I loved seeing Lonzo Ball's shooting pick right back up from where it left off.
Yeah, both Lonzo and Brandon Ingram did not hesitate at all with their jumpers, and both of their jumpers looked great. And that's going to be doubly important when Zion gets back, but especially in the absence of Zion, being able to open up the floor and make those shots. I mean, those guys looked phenomenal. And I was honestly impressed by Jackson Hayes, who was kind of thrust into that starting spot. He racked up 3 blocks. He played your typical low-usage big man, but I understand it was the Nets, but he looked like he was completely controlling the paint out there.
Schmidt Dua at Fear the Brown on Twitter, lead writer for Bourbon Street Shots. Also, I didn't realize this, Ahmad at the NBA Reddit, one of the best subreddits on the internet. So go check him out there. Check out the NBA Reddit if you have not yet. In terms of where you think that, or let's talk starting lineup. Last night, like you said, Jackson Hayes in that starting lineup. Is that something you expect going forward, or is that just for this preseason?
No, I think they're just trying to save wear and tear on Derek Favors, and as he kind of ramps back up into game speed, he'll definitely be the starting point there. But it's good to see that Jackson, when called upon, can slide into that role and provide quality minutes.
And then what about Nickeil Alexander-Walker? Because the stat that I keep going back to, I can't remember where I read it, but it's Lonzo and Drew are so dominant together. They dominate opponents. When Lonzo leaves, the numbers fall off significantly, right? So you need someone that can step up in his absence. You don't have to be Lonzo, but just be closer to that. I've been hyping up Walker. What did you think about Nas' performance last night? And do you see a guard who can maybe step up and fill that role a bit better?
Well, the thing about that stat you mentioned, it's not just when Lonzo leaves, it's when either of Drew or Lonzo leaves.
Oh,
so when
wow.
Lonzo plays without Drew, the same thing happens. So
Okay.
they're like codependent, and that kind of speaks to the quality of backup guard play on the Pelicans. Your starters are doing well together, but as soon as one of them walks off the court, not good things happen. I think, Nah last night, I was hoping to see a little bit better decision-making. I was hoping to see a little bit less erratic play, but, I feel like every time he plays, he's trying to make that flashy play or that flashy pass rather than making a simple two-handed chest pass or, going for a simple floater. I would like him to kind of contract his game a little bit before expanding it back. He doesn't have to show he has this whole bag of tricks every single time. And but on the contrary, Etuan Moore looks fantastic.
He did.
He looks unguardable. So I think if the Pelicans are making a serious playoff push, Etuan Moore is probably going to get a lot of those backup guard minutes. I don't know if they necessarily have a backup point guard, so to speak, and you want Nah to be that guy, but I think
Yeah, talking to Schmidt Dua here, absolutely. And I hope that Etuan can keep it going. And you're right, Naw has the greenest of green lights last night, which, I mean, is good. It's good, and it can be bad as well. One of my favorite takeaways from last night was Kenny Hustle, Kenrich Williams, back on the court doing Kenny Hustle things, drawing offensive fouls, rebounding, just all over the place. With a fully healthy Pelicans lineup, I don't know if it was injuries, but it seems like he kind of got lost in shuffle. What is his role on this Pelicans team during this bubble stretch?
Honestly, I think it's to be a disruptor, to come off whenever he gets minutes and just disrupt the entire opponent's game plan, whether it's him playing great defense, whether it's him crashing offensive boards, or him drawing charges as he was doing last night. I mean, he had the most Kenny Hustle stat line ever. It was like 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 charges, 0 points. and that is the epitome of Kenrich Hustle, who is laying out for loose balls in preseason games. And I think he kind of brings that energy that Alvin Gentry was cautious enough to say, not infectious, but contagious. I don't know. That's not the word for this time around, but but you know what I mean. Like, you know,
he brings that COVID energy. Yeah, I feel
exactly.
you, dude.
Yeah.
Just,
COVID energy, exactly.
You spend too much time within 6 feet of him, you can't help but get hyped up. Kenrich Williams, Kenny Hustle, at Schmidt Dua, or at Fear the Brown on Twitter. We're talking to Schmidt Dua. So what do you want to see next scrimmage? Like, after one's in the books, what would be kind of your goals going into the next one?
Honestly, just continue building off of this. To me, these scrimmages mean largely nothing. I want them, or my biggest priority for them is no one gets hurt.
Yeah.
So take care of your body. If there's a slight ding, just pull them out the game. There's no reason to play any type of extended minutes. I would like to see, you know, guys like Nikhil improve upon their decision making. You know, I want to see more of Jackson Hayes continue to do his thing, and I've seen what I need to see from the starters. They don't have anything to prove. They just need to stay healthy and get into the regular season.
We're 7 days away, man. Last one here. Good news on the Zion front. Well, I feel bad saying good news because who knows what he's dealing with. But just from a pure basketball standpoint, good news as he is tested negative every day. Explain to listeners what that means for his potential return.
So, yeah, the NBA has a policy to which if you're being tested every day and you're producing negative tests, when you re-enter the bubble, your quarantine period isn't that 10 to 14-day monstrosity. I think it's up to 4 days, depending on how long you were gone and what your testing procedure has been like. So, you know, if Zion returns in the next few days or so, he'll only be quarantined for 4 days, and there's a possibility he'll make it back for the beginning or the resumption of the season. However, you know, even if he's taking more time and he continues to produce negative results, it just means there's a quicker return to play protocol for him.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, man, but that to me last night looked like a team who kind of wanted to show, like, okay, yeah, look, no Zion, but we can handle it. We're not bad. We're professional players. Like, we're a deep team ourselves. We'll see if they can make it 2 for 2 in their next scrimmage. Schmidt, thank you so much for waking up with us this morning, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, T-Bob.
Schmidt Dua at Fear the Brown on Twitter, lead writer, BourbonStreetShots.com, and a mod on the NBA Reddit, which is one of the best subreddits on the internet. When we get back, we will wrap up today's show. OTB OT.
OTB OT. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. and I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to...
Yo, join us for a Thursday Hanging with Hester and Handy, presented by Richard's Honda. Barrett Sallee of CBS Sports and SiriusXM Radio joins us. Also, Hunt will be back in studio for an hour on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back. OTB OT. 94.7. 104.5 ESPN. That's right. That's like literally where we're at. You just probably know that. How about Bull? 7-2. Manute Bull's son. 16 points, 10 boards, 6 blocks for the big man in preseason last night, taking the league by storm. I'm just killing time with Bull till I find what I'm looking for in my notes. I'll continue to kill time as there is currently a big Microsoft press conference planned for today. What is y'all's current video game console setup? Nothing?
I have a PlayStation 3. Yeah. You know why?
Did you ever own a PS4 and Xbox One and sell it? You just never advanced past the...
You know why?
Why?
Because the only game I ever played was NCAA 14, NCAA Football 14, or Tiger Woods PGA Tour 14, the last one they made.
What about MLB The Show?
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't play any show.
Yeah, no, I do. I think the last one I got of that was like 15.
Has there ever been a college baseball game?
There has,
Yeah,
and it was fantastic.
MVP
Really?
or something like that.
It was great. MVP baseball 06. I think they made
Is
a second
MVP
one,
baseball? Is that
07.
989? Who makes
It was EA
MVP
Sports.
baseball?
It was
Oh, it is EA Sports. Okay.
It was for PlayStation 2, and I owned it, and it was awesome.
Couldn't they at least do like Golden Spikes baseball? Or
I mean, they could
something?
have, but
like,
you know how much fun it was to go like 66-0 with LSU and win the College World Series. It was great.
it was 99.
Huh?
It was when was it the last one you said?
07.
Oh, 07.
yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of recent.
Yeah.
It's a little closer than I thought. I never knew that existed.
I probably still have it somewhere, actually.
So are you still playing NCAA 14?
I need to fix it. Mine kind of got a little.
I was going to say,
messed up.
if it wasn't messed up, you could sell that thing. The prices, they're going for over.
I would never sell
going for
it.
$100.
I luckily got one for $80 on eBay.
See,
How
look,
did you do that?
That's how good NCAA is.
They're going for like $150.
I've seen some for $300. I'm like, never.
I
I'm
luckily
sorry.
got this 7-year-old. I luckily got this 7-year-old game for $80. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'd probably pay $80 for it.
Yeah, I would.
But that's
I would.
If I can't fix it. I'm gonna try like the toothpaste.
But
trick
that's
and see if it'll work.
touching on a larger conversation about video games. I know that NBA 2K made some headlines like a couple weeks ago where they announced that the next 2K is going to be $70, right? And people are like, oh, well, and look, honestly, 2K is probably not the company that should be making this change first for the game, given that they are super microtransaction heavy. Like, they're just kind of doing this out of a corporate greed standpoint, which, whatever, that's just how corporations work. But it is interesting that $60 price point is something that we've been locked into for a while. They made that jump. And old stuff like Super Nintendo, the prices were kind of all over the place. It could be really expensive. Like, the prices even then were a bit crazy. But during the 360, I think it jumped from 50 to 60. And then it has kind of stayed there as the expectation for about 15 years now. And so when you look at game developers, while they found other ways to make money through like cosmetics and microtransactions and stuff like that, a $70 game does make a lot of sense. So $80 for NCAA 14, yeah, I could definitely see it. Also, it's the only avenue to playing college football. But yeah, Microsoft does have their big game showcase today. I wish I could find the times. 11 a.m. Central. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. PS4, Sony had a very good press conference earlier this summer. Microsoft had a third-party press conference that did not go that well. We'll see how today goes. You're going to get a look at Halo Infinite, which I'm intrigued by. You're going to get a look at, there's rumors of a new Fable game being announced. Y'all ever rock with Fable back in the day?
Nope.
Hell yeah, dude.
PlayStation days, yeah.
Maybe you find, no, that was Xbox. That was OG Xbox, the big fat
Xbox
boy.
days.
Maybe this is where they fulfill Peter Molyneux's original vision. Who knows? We'll see. We'll recap it tomorrow. Friday tomorrow, baby. That's right. Enjoy your Thursday. We'll see you later on OTB OT.
OTB OT.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van,